What's up, you crazy kids?
What up? What up?
It's another week, another edition, another geek-tastic cipher.
In these mean streets
Mean
of,
streets.
I
How
don't
dare
know.
you? Oh,
Well, I mean, you put Peacemaker in the back. There's mean streets.
I mean, are they mean or are they just lunatics and a mess?
The streets are
Both.
just mean.
Man,
Both.
you know what? I'll agree. The streets are mean. I almost slipped and broke my neck this morning walking to my
Oh,
car on that
geez.
ice. If you guys are listening to this, this is Geek-tastic Cypher here on Free X Agents Media. I am one of the hosts, Brian Holiday. We got Merc with a mount. We got Jaws D. We got more
What
people
up?
joining us later on in the show. But yes, we are from Montreal. For those of you who don't know, I always forget sometimes. I see sometimes people tune into the show from Ireland and Vietnam and stuff like that, which is super fucking cool. Like, I love that people are tuning in from all over.
What's up?
Respect.
Shout outs to the international crew. We just got to get those Jamaicans to tune in. We're going to be talking about the Patties versus Patties later.
I got some cousins from Trinidad all over the place, kind of
There you
listening
go.
in when they can.
Definitely. I want more West Indians tuning in.
Mhm.
But all that to say, and to the especially to the West Indians, it cold. It is nasty out here. It's fucking freezing. It's disgusting. It's icy. It's slippery. It's annoying. And you know, sometimes I look out into the abyss and I say to myself, "Why are we here? Why is this where we came?"
Well,
And
you know what's crazy though? I don't know if you guys went out Saturday, but I was driving with my girl on Saturday in the middle of the day, and there was like I think they call it a squall or whatever when like there's
Oh yeah, snow squall.
Yeah, exactly. And we were on the highway, and dude, it felt like a mist all around the car. And I literally turned to my girl. I'm like, I am terrified. She's like, I'm happy I'm not the only one. I'm like, that's not comforting. You're the one behind the wheel. But we were like,
That's a good point.
yeah.
Point.
And I'm
That's
like,
not
okay.
comforting. You're driving.
So we like instantly put on the four ways and whatnot. And like, we did it and someone else did it at the same time. And we're like, holy shit, we would have ran into somebody.
Oh,
Because
wow.
it was like that bad. Like you were talking about like 5 feet in front of you.
But they said that. They said like you can't. There's no visibility. People shouldn't be driving.
We didn't hear that. Like we knew that it was supposed to be like not a good week in the sense of like there was supposed to be. We thought there was supposed to be rain and whatnot. But like we saw a sunny day and whatnot. So we're like, okay, we're gonna go and do this one thing.
Lies. It was
and
lies.
Because you know they get wrong all the time.
But
And then we left downtown and that was scary.
That's one of the things I find funny because now that the internet age exists, you think people have more access to this information, would keep up to date on it. And I know it's funny that as a podcast we're talking about the weather, but when you live in Montreal, the weather is a major factor of the world you live in.
Mhm.
And like visibility, being concerned about your safety out in the streets, it's crazy to think that and to us this is the norm.
Yeah.
Like we haven't had it for a couple years this bad, at least not that I can think of.
Oh no.
I used to be
yeah.
I remember for me, I was so I think there was snow prior to that. So everyone has to clear out the snow off their cars and around the car so you can drive out so they can come and clear the snow. So that Saturday, I was gonna go and see my godparents because my godfather has a car and I usually help him out with the snow. And I just looked out the window and I couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
And I just gave him a call like, I'm not coming today.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, why not? I was like, did you look outside? And they're like, oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Chill out. It's okay.
Well, it's like Mike K said. So Mike K in the comments wrote, I was set to go to Costco, ended up just salting my driveway and legit going back inside. F it.
Yeah.
And it's true. It was wild out there this weekend in Montreal. So, and today is the end of that. Like everything's melting, but it's still sleek, just ice everywhere.
Yeah, we had ice rain yesterday, and then that ice is still kind of on the ground. It's still a little bit slippery on the sidewalks and everything. Like I was joking around with my cousins. I have like a WhatsApp group with my cousins.
Yeah.
And I sent them. They're all like saying it. One of them is in Colorado. Like, oh, it's so cold. And I sent hours, and I'm like, whatever. It's -3 with and it said like freezing rain on it and everything. And then I sent like a joke picture where someone said, meanwhile in Canada, and they have a picture of a mat, and the mat has snow on it, but then maybe a quarter of it is broken straight down that side. and they're like, I'm not saying it's cold, but my mat from outside broke.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah, like that's one of the things
and
that
that
people don't think
scared my
about.
cousins. That's
Yeah.
like cousins like, what? And I was like, no, that's not happening now, but
Yeah.
that's more like people maybe further up north. Like it hasn't been like -20, -30, -40, you know, but
I would actually prefer -30 Celsius than 0, this kind of like +3 to -5, where it just stays in a freezing range back and forth. I find that more dangerous than just actual cold snow. I can
Right.
deal with actual cold snow. I'll just dress properly, but you can't dress for this and you can't walk on it, and it's just dangerous.
It's also the tease and the hope and pray that we're gonna just keep it going high.
No,
like
no,
you're always
that's-
like it's freezing. The next day you're like you're
Hey.
walking out. You're like that feels nice.
Dave,
and then you're
how
like, no.
dare you, as a Montrealer, assume that in February you're going to do that? How dare you, sir?
Oh man, I remember quite a
I
few of
think-
my friends in college were like got mad at me because we all started getting Facebook. Everyone's airing out like, oh, you know, it's so annoying. Why is it snowing and this and
yeah,
that?
yeah.
And it's like, why are you talking about snow in wintertime?
Yeah, you know.
How are you guys? Like, I went to elementary school here. We
Yeah.
have 4
Yeah.
seasons.
Exactly.
And winter's in there. How
Yep.
do you not have boots? How do you not have a winter jacket? How are you not prepared for this? Doesn't make any sense.
And it's the sense of being cool. That was one of the things when I was younger. My brother was 16. I think he's like 10 years older than me. And when he was living with us for a bit, he went to Shad.
Mm.
And when he was going to school, he used to wear, in the winter, dead of winter, jeans jacket, sneakers, jeans, school bag on his back. And
You got to explain Shad for people that aren't from Montreal.
Shad Academy is a predominantly black high school that was in uptown Montreal that was also predominantly Anglophone and lasted until 1996.
I think
7?
so, yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of the students from Shad ended up coming to Wager, which is a school that Jaws and I went to.
Yeah.
After Shad shut down, unfortunately. And then, funny enough, the elementary school that was probably fed the most into Shad, a lot of those students, that school moved into the Shad building, and then the building that Coronation used to be in became a French school, I think. No?
I think so. Something like I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really pay attention.
I'm in that area, but I can't remember what the shuffle was, you know?
Yeah, I don't. No offense to the French kids and their French school, but I didn't pay much attention to y'all when I was there. Maybe your girls, because I was younger and I would talk to the girls in the park, but I wasn't really paying attention to your schools. I didn't care.
Only in French.
Yeah.
Juste en français, man. Yo,
Salut les filles, ça va bien? So like,
yo guy.
Yeah.
Yo, guy, ça c'est plate, man. Yo, man.
At the KFC across from Plamondon, just chilling. They all show up. Back in the day. Anyways, that's very uptown of us. If you guys are from Montreal, you know exactly what we're talking about. Actually,
just watch Sugar Sammy. You'll get it.
Yeah, there you go.
Very true. That's well said. That's well said.
Sugar Sammy's so funny. Did I ever tell you guys about the time I went to see him at, what's the place on Bishop upstairs? Comedy Nest? Comedy, one of the comedy clubs. Is on Bishop?
Comedy Nest, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's Bishop. I can't remember.
So I'm at the show. My cousin from out west is there, and I'm with my friend Danica. And we go to the show. We're the only people of color in the crowd. Only 3 of us.
And was there good lighting in the club?
Great lighting.
Oh well, okay. I know where this is going.
It's not even just like darkly lit. It's they just had the lights on. They didn't have a spotlight on the stage. The lights were just on in the spot. And my cousin and I and Danica sat up in the front on the side.
Oh no.
And Sammy looks at us and he's doing his comedy and stuff, and he's mostly talking to us because we're in the front and we're there. And at one point he says something, and he looks at the tablecloth and he's just like, these tablecloths turn into hoods real quick, don't they? And my cousin, my friend, and I all got the joke and were crying laughing. The rest of the audience, not a peep. They did not get the joke, or they were so offended by the joke They just didn't want to react to it. Either way, my cousin and I and Danica had the best night because that whole set felt like it was a private set just for us, where we got to laugh at Sammy and laugh at the awkwardness of this predominantly white audience.
Wow.
Just completely confused about what's going on. It was wonderful. It was chef's kiss. One of the best.
I remember one time I was at Just for Laughs, and my mom and I went to the Best of the Uptown Comics.
Oh, dope.
And not Sugar Sammy. What's the Russell Peters? Yes, Russell Peters was doing a set. But the problem was the venue. It was very dark, and a lot of the comics were like, "Oh, I can't see the crowd. I can't see the crowd." And Russell Peters had a joke about Trini people, and he said, "Trinidadians, we don't sound very threatening with our accent." So he was like, and then we always turn stuff into some kind of soca thing. So he's like, imagine a Trinidadian was holding up a bag. You put the money in the bag, and you put your hand in the air, put your hand in the air, put your hand in the air, put your hand in the air. And me and my mom were like, we're jamming to it. And like, everyone's looking at us like, what the? And he couldn't see us. So he couldn't be like, see what I'm talking about?
Get it. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the whole.
That's hilarious.
I love, honestly, Just for Laughs. That's one of the things that once the pandemic's done and we are able to start going to shows, Just for Laughs is one of those things I'm really looking forward to going back to. Ron Funches did a show a couple of years ago, probably 2019, and I went to his show. I was the only black person in the audience, and at the end of the show, I think I tweeted saying, "Hey Ron, only black guy that was at your show here, saying what's up. It was a good set." And he was just like, "Oh yeah," and he like wrote something back because he remembered, because there was a moment where he like made a joke and then pointed at me, and it was like, "You get it." So that was great. But just because there's just for laughs is fun. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, you'd cut out for a second, Dave. But yeah, I mean, Just for Laughs is great, and I
realized
it's just the audiences really are predominantly Montreal audiences, which is, a lot of predominantly white crowds in some of those spaces, which is funny because if you were in Uptown, it's not only white crowds. So that's why I'm like, where are these people when it comes to Just for Laughs? Why are we not coming downtown for some of these comedy shows? But I guess,
Well, I remember one of Sugar Sammy's sets, he talks about Soca City, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. I love it. That's one of the things I wonder about comedy, because I remember
it's funny that we're talking about comedian.
I'm thinking Dave is a little delayed.
Oh man.
Yeah, Dave. Sorry, homie. You're a little delayed today. We'll let you come back in a second. But yeah, I remember when I was doing an interview with Preach and Cobia one time, and him and I were talking about how in music, rappers will, or even local artists, you usually sing local, then national, then international. Right. As you glow up, right? Like, because you're trying to connect with your community on a local level, but you're making the songs connect in a way that anyone in any community in any city would understand what you're saying, in the sense that, we all have that part of town that's like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think some comics write their comedy in that. I feel like most comics write their comedy in that stuff, because they definitely have to be able to travel with it. And I find that super interesting when I think about comedy and music, how similar those two kind of cultures can be.
Or the creative process, you mean? As well?
Yeah. Creative process, the creative process, like building yourself and connecting with your community. There's that doc on Prime for Fat Tuesdays about the comedy store, the Tuesday nights that they gave to predominantly all black comics, and how it became like this big draw, and it was like the thing that kept the doors open at the comedy store for X amount of time, and it was amazing. Really, really good doc. But one of the things,
do you know who made that doc? Do you know?
It was the guy who ran the Fat Tuesdays with his brother.
Okay.
Him and his brother were oh man, they're saying everyone but the guy who started it. It's like Snoop Dogg. I'm like, yeah, I know Snoop Dogg's in it. Who's the guy that made it? It talks
this
about
is in New York, right?
No, the Comedy Store out west in
Oh, okay,
LA.
okay. LA.
Yeah,
Okay,
and it
never
was
mind
Fat
then.
Tuesdays, and it was. Oh my god, they put these fuckers in alphabetical order instead of just writing down
What you bitch ass niggas talking about?
Fat Tuesdays.
Fat Tuesdays. What?
Yeah. Oh, Guy Torrey. Thank you. Guy Torrey is his name.
Okay.
So Guy Torrey started Fat Tuesdays at the Comedy Store in LA back in the like 90s. It was like the epitome of comedy, black comedy, and like everyone's in it. If you're a black comic, you're in this. Nick Cannon got his start there. Like they talk about how Nick Cannon was this kid who was an opening act that Guy saw perform, and he was an opening act, like he was a performer, singer.
Right.
And then when someone started making fun of him on stage, he threw it back at them, and Guy Torrey was just like, oh snap, this kid's got skills. And he invited him to come on and be on his Fat Tuesdays. And Nick was underage. He was under 18. So he was sneaking him in the back to perform, but he was having him open up. And then that's how Nick got his deal for Nickelodeon off of doing the Fat Tuesday stuff. And the only white comic to ever be considered family on Fat Tuesdays, Bob Saget.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, it's wild.
Did you hear the last appearance of Bob Saget was on? It was a Designer music video.
Oh, no, I didn't know.
Yeah, so Designer's new music video that I think came out recently, Bob Saget's in it. That was like the last thing he did. And I'm just like,
snap. That's so Designer?
Yeah.
Panda Designer?
Panda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Timmy Turner with a burner.
Yeah.
Timmy Turner was harder than Panda. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm just gonna
True.
throw that out there. Timmy Turner was a harder
It
song.
was really good.
Do you want me to add you, sir? You good? You good to go?
There he is.
He's good.
But yeah,
I mean, you just added me anyway, but I guess I am good.
Because you didn't answer. So, all right, well,
Mid-drink.
to make you mad.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good.
But yeah, man, Guy Torrey, that whole documentary. I mean, that's not. I didn't mean to jump into View the Right Thing, but if you guys are looking for a good doc about black comedy, I mean, Anthony Anderson, Snoop Dogg, Tiffany Haddish, Regina King, Chris Tucker, JB Smoove, Dave Chappelle, Lil Rel, Nick Cannon, Tommy Davidson, Cedric the Entertainer, Marsha Warfield, Chris Spencer, Steve Harvey, Linnell, all of them are in this doc, and they all have nothing but amazing things to say about the whole thing. And it was great. It was great. It was so much fun. So it's a great watch.
Black people like to laugh.
We do.
Yeah.
We
laugh so hard until it hurts.
Yep.
Bust the vessel.
What was it that Regina said to us? Said in that cowboy movie, Between a Rock and a Hard Place? That's just Monday for us. That's because we all the other times we just laughing.
Yep.
We laugh. Man, I don't want. Anyways, I won't bring it up. I won't talk about it. Let's move on.
What's crazy is the experience changes depending on the geography for black people.
Yes, definitely different experiences. But at the end of the day, at least now, sometimes I wonder about what the black experience was in Europe before America main export entertainment became a major part.
Dry.
And they exported their idea of race and racism to the rest of the world. Because that's what I more wonder about. Because I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it was still racist, but was it as racist?
I really want BBC to bring out this show called The Real McCoy, and that was like a 90s Black British show, and it was like a mix and mingle of like people from the Caribbean, people from Africa. Like they had one of his like legendary dudes had this character called Nathaniel, and he was like a prince. He was like an African prince, and he was studying to become an accountant. But like he was like 5 years into studying and becoming an accountant. And just like, this guy's never gonna get his accounting thing. Like this guy's just full of it. That was like the whole conceit of it. And he's purposely teaching all the Caribbean people how to talk properly. He's like, all you Jamaicans don't know how to speak. You need to speak the Queen's English language like I speak.
Lord.
It was jokes. It's
British
really,
comedy.
really good.
British comedies always bring the best. I still think British comedies are the top.
If you can get British comedy, it's wild good.
You know what?
Sometimes it's too dry.
Sometimes that's the thing. Skinny's right. If you get it, it's good.
Yeah.
If you get
Yeah, I
it,
feel
like,
like
yeah.
yeah, it's true. I could see it in that sense. I think my comedic style is definitely more dry myself than anything. I think that's why I can easily like relate to it, because I don't take offense to things. If anything, I like the banter. I like when you're taking shots at each other, but like it's on an even plane and everyone's on the same level of like, I can say this and you can say that. You know, I kind of like that about the British humor as well. They don't hold back.
No,
they don't. No, they
call
don't.
each other
No, they don't.
names. Yeah, it's good. It's cool to see, especially in a PC world.
Even
man,
things that
I know
they're
for
trying
me
to be less aggressive about, it still feels like, oh shit, they're really going at it. Like,
yep.
I know for me, I have to like be in the mood for Jimmy Carr. Like,
oh
it's just,
yeah,
it's
I'm never in the mood.
Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy Carr's not dry, man.
I
hate punchline comedy.
Yes, he's a good host when he's hosting something because the punchlines work when you're hosting. But if you watch his comedy special, it's literally just punchlines after punchlines
back to back. It's like,
dude,
I'm watching it's literally the difference between an artist making a song and a freestyle and a battle rapper.
Yeah.
Right. A battle rapper is just pure punchlines and trying to get your attention.
No.
And like a seasoned comedian is literally putting a song together. Seriously. It's literally after a while. It's crazy. And there's no segue. It's a switch into the next topic and the next topic.
I tried to watch his dark material and within 5 minutes I stopped. I was like,
turned it off.
Yeah. I couldn't watch it because it's just too much. It's just like
it's a lot.
Just over and over it, and it just sounds like you're listening to someone on a soundboard. Just hit the buttons once the joke's done. Hit the next line. Next joke. Hit the next line. It wasn't good, man. I'm sorry, Carr. I've met him, and again, I've seen him host things, but when it comes to stand-up,
individual stuff,
when you're hosting, it makes sense that you want to like get people's attention right away with a joke, like a quick little punchline, and make them laugh, and then onto the next thing. But like, when you're doing a stand-up comedy special, I feel like concepts are everything, and you kind of need to have interweaving stories,
storytelling more.
Yeah, and callbacks to something you said like half an hour ago that ties everything together, you know. But again, who am I to say I don't do it? So,
speaking quickly on battle rap, to go back to what Brian was saying, so I had a friend that I was speaking to last night actually, and in the same sentence that this man told me, I consider you a good friend. I asked him, because he's putting on a show, and I asked him, is this your main source of income? He responds, no. So I asked him, what's your other source of income? The man goes on to tell me and not tell me, oh, well, why does that matter? I was like, bro, I just asked you before, what's the layout of your house? Now you don't want to tell me what your job is, but then we're also good friends. What are you talking about? He's like, well, just in case of a battle rap situation, I don't want anybody to have any information on me. So you might speak to somebody and I'm almost like, whoa.
I would have.
Who are you and what do you do?
Mute.
Yeah, who is your daddy and what does
he do?
Tommy Strong. I got a job, y'all. I have a job.
Why is he ashamed to say he has a job or
no? Because
he's worried that his day job could be used against him in a battle rap.
Like, wait, does he work at McDonald's? Like, I don't understand. Like, how are you gonna?
As far as I was,
we have all the questions, Skinny. All the questions.
He's not from the streets. He's an actual doctor, and he's a really good fan.
Yeah.
It's a doctor's ashamed of being a comedian.
Some of us in the room might know him, but I was afraid. Not even afraid. I was just kind of like, well, this is strange that. Well, in the pandemic, you're running to put on shows when it's March. No one's really running to put on shows in March, especially here. And if it was your only source of income, then I would understand why you're hustling this hard. But if it isn't, chill, right? That's my, But of course, rappers, I don't understand, so on. I mean, and then he mentioned something. He's like, oh, well, someone could just use anything to come after me. He's like, but you should come to the show because like I've definitely improved, whatever. And I'm just like, and this is the only time I've alluded to this because before I tend to like ignore Kanye's ego, but I said to him, I was like, you're like white Kanye. Because I don't understand the ego you're having right now versus the things that I see that has been accomplished to you. Not that you've accomplished, but things that have been accomplished to you. Meaning, ain't nobody no nominating for you for Junos, no Grammys out here. I don't see a platinum album anywhere. What's happening? What's happening?
Oh, so you just wanted to, as a concerned friend, wanted to know, like, are you doing anything else outside of this?
Well, yeah, not only that, but it's like
okay. It
I'm
makes me feel like
transparent
he's
with
ashamed.
him. He shouldn't be ashamed considering. I mean, dude sold weed
It's
before.
like
It
makes no sense. It makes no sense because it's like a YouTuber, right? Like if you're doing YouTube, for example, and you're trying to grow your subscriber count, you're not going to drop your day job. So everybody knows, hey, until you actually do make it somewhere, you do have, I would assume, a day job, like something else you're doing on the side. So yeah, not on the side, but as your main source of income. So yeah.
I
That's
kept
kind of
pushing
ridiculous.
My day job. I pushed my day job to the point where my day job's cooler than my side shit now. Like, I don't
Exactly.
know.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes people are just like, "Yo, you like you're such a nerd. You know all this stuff. You watch all these shows. You should just be doing this on the daily." And I'm like, "Listen, if you want to pay me what I'm being paid to literally listen to music all day and watch music videos and make playlists for commercial spaces,
I'm saying,
I mean, this seems like the best of both worlds for me. My day job is as fun as." And in my evenings and side hustle is as fun as like I live the best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The only thing that sucks sometimes is when clients are weird. Like someone's telling me, "Oh, I can't access the playlist that you sent me for me to review." Just like, okay, what device and browser are you using? And then no reply for 3 days, and then they send another email saying what they still can't hear the playlist. It's just like, okay, you're just one of those people. I can't really do anything about that.
Wait, define one of those people. Because what is one of those people?
One of those people who's just
people
like
who expect things to work without actually understanding that sometimes things break or that there's sometimes troubleshooting required to get it to work. I don't like that.
I want you to build the house. Okay, I need this information and this information, and then silence. Hey, did you start building the house? No, I needed this information, this information. Silence for another week. Hey, so how far along are you with the house? I never started because I need this information.
You're giving me like PTSD to my
telecommunication. No, Wendell will understand. Wendell will understand me where we'll get like full ass paragraphs of, oh my gosh, end of the world. I need you to do this and this happened and this happened and my machine this and this that whatever. Whole big run on sentence. Main key point of information. You didn't list your machine name. So now. My black ass has to go and I mean, I can always just search through inventory, but it's the idea is like, you shouldn't expect me to search through inventory. You should know your machine name and just give it to me so I can be like, oh, first sentence, machine name, click, be on your way. Because most of the time, once you do that,
just send them the IT crowd as soon as you're done.
My favorite was the fact that like some people would mess around with their screen settings.
Yeah.
And one of the dudes I used to work with was like getting really annoyed. And so obviously, like this is when we're still in the office. So you just went down to their desk and was like, what's wrong? Oh, well, you didn't set the colors on my screen correctly. And he pressed the button at the bottom. And he's like, no, he asked them, did you mess around with the screen? No, I didn't mess around with it. He presses a button and the colors go perfectly. And you're like, oh, how'd you do that? Stop messing around with the screen. We've already sent out multiple emails to not mess around with the screen. They're calibrated for you in this particular spot.
Stop banging on the furnace.
See the color of her areola better doesn't mean you need to adjust the color on your screen. I would just full on start embarrassing people and be like, I know what you're watching that you need to adjust colors. Stop being a pervert. You're at work.
No, what killed me was the dude who was requesting to access Instagram from our content networks so that they could browse for potential artists that they would like to work at my place, and I'm not gonna mention. And I was like, okay, pervert. Nope.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Instagram has become a resource in that way, though. Unfortunately.
110%.
Unfortunately.
But 3 years ago, nah. 3 years ago, the girls hasn't digivolved into wellness coaches yet. It was still just booty. So come on.
Yeah, no. Shout outs to Patrick O'Keefe, homeboy over at Sony, who's working on Spider-Man and Across the Spider-Verse. He's been doing a lot of spaces on Twitter. So last time I was listening to him talk about like NFT culture and stuff like that, and he was talking about people, you know, how the internet has and Instagram and stuff has created this network where people can collaborate way easier for art than they used to, because everyone used to be alone on an island and now people can connect. And I was just like, damn, that's real true. And it's cool. It's fun. Like just being in these spaces together, it gives people a chance to step up. And also I feel like it what is it? Steel sharpens steel. So like some of these people are online, like, you know, they're getting into their art, they're getting into their drawing, and then they see other people who've been like, man, been at this for 2 years, really proud of my my glow up. And then they're like, shit, I've been at this for 3. And they, you know, like they really start working at it because they want to be on the same level, and that shit gets crazy. Russell Howard, that's who it is. I wanted to mention for the Netflix special, the one that's actually good in British.
Speaking of Netflix, I want to send a message out to Mr. Akeem Grams. Randomly,
Snowpiercer.
2 shows that I'm watching. This mofo pops up on my screen, and I'm like, I get it. We haven't played Connect 4, but like, you have to go on my TV to prove that you know you know where I'm at. This guy shows up on 2.
What were the 2 shows? Do you remember?
Space Force,
Snowpiercer and Space Force. Yeah.
Yeah, man, he's doing well.
Wow.
Snowpiercer. He's in the bar
the
scene.
Snowpiercer scene was really good with the eye patch.
Yeah, and he has this like accent he's putting on. I don't know where that accent is. Maybe he's mocking. I don't remember anyway, but it was hilarious. Yeah, it was hilarious.
If you play every other letter that he says, play me at Connect 4.
It actually, I did analyze it. Each sentence, every third word says, stop ducking me, bro.
Yo, man, you guys will have to play. I look forward to it, though.
I sent him a message right after I saw him in Snowpiercer. I was like, all right, enough is enough.
Because I knew about Space Force, but I didn't know about Snowpiercer. Yeah. So when I was watching Space Force, I was just like, okay, I knew this one was coming. He'd posted it a lot. But the Snowpiercer one was so perfectly shocking because it came out and before I saw him, I heard his voice.
Yeah, same.
And I was like, oh shit, that's Akeem. And then you see him eye patch sitting at the bar drinking, and like I full on pictured this whole idea of his character being like a pirate on the train of Snowpiercer, just working with Pike, him and Quasi doing their thing. But yeah, that was a good episode too of that last one.
It was.
Yeah, Snowpiercer.
Was he on long or just in that one scene?
One shot.
It was one scene, but he was visible for the whole scene pretty much.
Yeah, it was good.
Actually. And he had like 2 or 3 lines actually at the beginning of the scene. So like, he's noticeable in the
the scene starts with him talking. Yeah, that's how I really noticed him.
Yeah,
but yeah, man, shout out to Akeem. He's doing big things.
Yeah, I attempted to watch Space Force from season 1 just so I can build up to his part.
Yeah,
might have to just jump in on season 2 because I can't watch.
Oh, come on. Okay.
What? Yo, season 1 is funny.
Season 1 has its moments, and I think I got to episode 3, but I was just like, man, what is?
It's hilarious, dude.
I love Space Force.
There's just so much happening within everything.
Yeah,
like every other line is the delivery is perfect. I love it. I love the parody, the shtick.
Yeah,
Malkovich kills his role too.
Oh my god,
the tap scene in season 1 when they're in court and Steve Carell has to defend like Space Force and their budget. And before he went into the Supreme Court, whatever you want to call it, he talks to the scientist who's John Malkovich, and he's like, "Hey, listen, I'm going to need your help in there." But before this, they'd kind of had points of contention where Steve Carell kind of just took over the mission from John Malkovich. He's a scientist, and he took over the mission from him. So he didn't already like him very much. So before they went in, he's like, "I'm gonna tap on my desk if I ever need you to just jump in and take over." And as soon as he started doing tap, John Malkovich is quiet, and Steve Carell has to talk his way through the budget argument. Oh man, it's so good. It's so good.
I love it.
I'm not doing it justice right now. Just go watch it. It's really good.
I think it's a wild show.
Yeah. Quick rules. Real quick. Just I had to because I'm reading and okay. This is weird. Increase of risk of cancer. Health Canada recalls more hand sanitizer. That's not my problem here. The top problem is how dirty people are by admitting right now. Can't say I'm surprised. Just happy I fake squirt into my hands at stores 90% of the time.
Oh yeah.
And then it goes into I fake squirt hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
So motherfuckers be okay. So then you go onto the comments and you got like smiley face. Same girl. All right, you got you like nigga.
You didn't know that. You didn't know that.
I knew people were doing it.
I
just
knew
thought it
people
was
were doing
weird.
it.
I knew people were just dirty. Just
Yeah, true facts. Big facts.
No.
People
can't,
are just
can't
dirty.
even wash their hands. Can't even be bothered. Just
No, but
like
check
I'm
this
gonna
out. Check
fake
this out.
put water here. and
Yo,
walk the
seriously.
These are
hell out
all
the
women.
bathroom.
These are all women, not one man amongst them. This is all women. And to
In the
me,
comments?
yes, and that is dirty.
That's weird. Because
I mean,
women.
The
I
reason
feel
guys
like-
don't say anything is because we're already not doing it anyway. Like we're the
True.
dirtiest of the
You
bunch.
know what?
We just know how to get away with it.
Or we just don't want to
Well,
throw
shut
it
it
up
up.
on there.
Yeah, I
course
would,
not.
I would
Don't
say
you-
it's more a factor of like we don't be in the comments telling people what we do and don't do public. Like
Exactly.
we are,
Prime
men
example.
are sneaky, and
Prime
that's just it.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Prime
How many
example.
About our
times? How many
dustiness.
times you been in the bathroom and
Listen,
You've noticed.
I'm gonna admit right here. Sometimes I just be like, I know my dick's clean. I'm out. I'm watching it. I'm not gonna throw it up on
I know
Facebook.
my
though.
dick's clean. Idle.
Fucking-
yo, bro,
You know-
no hands, no
I know
hands.
my.
No hand.
You don't remember that episode of the
There's a
Simpsons?
sit down method if you're
I'm not-
lazy.
I have no hands, bro. What do you mean?
You don't
No
remember the
touching-
episode
no
of The
touching that
Simpsons
after.
where they got it? What was it? They got that girl. There was a girl coming to work with them at the
Is it
nuclear plant,
Mindy?
and then, and then Homer says, "Oh man, that means we can't pee into the fountain anymore." And we're like, "You pee in the fountain?" He's like, "No, no, I didn't say that."
The water fountain, yeah.
He's an agent. Mad. Like,
Yo.
so, hold on. You just
People are
grabbed.
gross out
You
here,
just
man.
came into a store after grabbing up. I don't know what gas pole. I don't
Yeah.
know. Me and mind you, we were doing this shit before, so I was always just like, well, there's no wonder people didn't get sicker before with all the
Yeah, yeah,
non-hand
yeah.
washing and open mouth coughing and motherfuckers are doing.
Pink
But-
eye.
And pink
Yeah.
eye.
People breathing on your neck in the metro.
Yo, I'm so happy I bought a car. Anyways,
Yeah,
but the amount of girls that was like, I never use that shit. It's insufficient. And I'm just like, y'all are like, not that you're gross, and not that I hope you get sick, but just that, just that.
You know, you should just write on it. You know, we could see your face and names, right?
No, honestly, if I was in that comment section, I would be like, reminder, this is the internet. Everything you say can be found. You are not actually as anonymous as you think you are.
Y'all the type of
Yo.
niggas that
Dear
go barefoot
Karen,
in the
we
club.
see you.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're Karen, we see
yeah.
you.
Y'all the type of girls that go barefoot in public bathrooms. Like, what is happening?
Yo, I was
Oh,
watching this
man.
What's happening
video.
with this
Yo,
woman?
I don't even go barefoot in the gym bathroom. How many foot
Yeah.
fungus situations I've heard
Yeah.
about in the bathroom?
Oh,
In the gym
I was
bathroom.
watching this video where this girl was drawing the straps for sandals on her feet directly so that they wouldn't make her put flip-flops on because she didn't want to wear flip-flops around the resort. And the
Okay, if you're gonna go to that extent,
yo, just put the damn flip-flops on. You're gonna draw the straps on your feet instead
Oh
of
my
just
God.
putting the
Die.
flip-flops on.
I'd
you have
rather
to you have to
die.
reapply after a couple hours. Redo
Guys, we
your-
live in the
redo
dumbest
your-
timeline. We live in the dumbest
I
timeline.
rather
I wanna be
die
part of
than
that
be
show.
inconvenienced by
Yo.
20 seconds.
I'm doing
Yo,
another
man.
episode.
Speaking of show,
Another episode on March 12th, so we'll talk about it.
When the aliens come, I'm joining them. Just letting you know.
Yo, seriously.
Straight up and down. We'll be like, hey, yo, me, bring me.
yeah,
Like,
I always
right?
wonder with reality shows too. Whenever I see like people talk about, I'm like, like the person you were just talking about in this sidebar is gonna see this show
Yo,
later.
yeah.
Like, what?
Doesn't
is
doesn't
going
that
on?
happen? Doesn't that happen in
All
the
the time.
um
The best
what
is
was it called? The reunion episodes of like
Yes.
the,
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
New
yeah,
York,
yeah.
the Love and Hip Hop ones. Just
Oh,
people
all
just
of them.
all of
Just
them.
fist
Love
throwing
at first
fists
sight,
and
all them
bows.
shit.
Love is
They always-
blind, all that
Yep.
shit.
Every
the best is
single-
when they admit to like cheating on and stuff, and you're like,
yeah,
like
yo,
this is my biggest secret, and you're like,
Yeah,
Not
and, like,
anymore.
like,
Speaking
your
of
friends
Love is
and
Blind.
family are watching this too.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Speaking of Love is Blind, I was watching the
Season 2 is
beginning
weak.
of season 2, and they're like, oh, you know, this experiment is a success. I'm like, talk about the young dude that got dicked around by that older girl in the first season.
What about
No,
Bro,
it
it
didn't.
happened
ears?
again. It happened again in season 2.
Also, can I
They
ask a
literally cast
question?
the same roles in the second season.
Yes.
Sorry, go
When
ahead.
they say the show is a success, do they mean that they had high subscribers, a high subscription rate on
Stop.
Netflix?
You're
Because
dead.
the relationships did not. What 2 of them
Two?
ended up actually staying together?
So
Everyone
The
far,
last
else
one.
fell
my girlfriend's watching it, so I'm unfortunately having to go through this pain.
No, I've been
Come on,
watching.
Dave.
It's not
Don't
bad.
lie.
Don't hate
Don't
it.
lie,
Don't
Dave.
lie.
Don't
Watch
lie.
it.
I read
I
comic
know
books.
you think you're
Through
amongst the
this shit.
boys and you can't admit it.
No. You
it's
guys
okay.
are insane. I hear things. What's the dumb blonde idiot's name? The girl.
There's
who-
Shane and Shayna.
We all know who
That
you're
girl is
talking
an
about.
evil person.
Yes.
Not
She
by
is.
watching the show, by purely hearing on the side.
She was
While I'm
casted as
doing
that way.
something else. I
Yeah.
hear her talk, and I go to my girlfriend. I'm like, I hope this is not a role model for you.
She was
Yeah,
casted that way.
This is an
not a
evil
role model.
person.
Yo,
She's
this
an
is the
evil
same
person.
girl. I think I know this new season you're talking about.
Yeah, the Christian
Yeah.
girl who couldn't be with the dude
No,
because he was an
the
atheist, but then at the same time,
Why are you
Christian
getting
girl.
together if you're? Why?
But that's the thing. See,
No.
this is my problem. This is why I need to actually watch the show, because the way I watch it is I watch the first episode and
Oh,
the
don't do
last
that.
episode.
No,
Oh,
what are you
hold up.
doing? You missed all the
Hold up.
fun.
Or-
I
No.
only watch
You're
every
doing
time,
Brian.
every time they drop 6 episodes at a time. I always watch the first one and the last one,
Doug,
and I just guess the rest in the middle. 'Cause
We
I'm like, I
legit-
do not want to watch these.
I have a
people
quick
act stupid.
question.
go on.
Quick question
quickly.
about that Christian girl.
Yeah, yeah.
Does the
Christian,
dude
quote unquote.
does the dude hit her with the like I guess she says like she's not having sex before she's married. And
Oh
stuff.
no.
Okay. No. Because there was
Things
a,
that
like there was a-
religion is what I choose to make it, not
Okay.
what to follow.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's just
'cause
a
there was-
title. She does
Yeah.
everything else under the sun that you would consider what's the word that they call people who
Heathen?
who don't there's a word.
I believe-
Secular.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything that you would consider secular, she does. But she just wants the guy to go to church. Period.
Yeah, but to be
He's
honest,
like-
that's most Christians.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a whole
large
other.
amount of them.
That's a
That's a-
whole conversation, but he's not
that's a whole
playing.
other conversation.
He
Okay,
just hit us
'cause-
with some big facts about Christianity right now.
I
Yeah.
remember because go on. Sorry.
Take that.
Sorry,
Christian.
the guy just says he's atheist, and then because the first guy she liked, it didn't work out because he
Ended
proposed
up,
to
yeah.
someone else. It was too late for her to get this guy, so she technically went with this other dude because there was no
Wha-
one else.
While
Instead of
still
just
telling
saying-
dude, oh yeah, I was gonna propose to you, or I wanted you to propose to me, but then you got with that other chick, and then kind of like dropping little like
Yeah,
bombs
isn't she?
in the
Yeah,
relationship.
she's throwing like shade at her and being like, "Yo, your girl's not that."
Like she goes to the
attractive."
relationship party with all the couples except for she's not there in a couple. She's like, "Yo, where's your dude? Oh yeah, we broke up. Then bitch, why you here?"
The other thing,
She
thing,
tells him that they're not compatible. Your relationship is fake. All this shit.
Keep in
And
mind,
then-
I feel
and then
bad
the
for my
guy-
brother. Yeah, go on.
They're like the realest couple there, actually. If anything.
Yeah.
Which one, Shane and the
Yeah,
girl?
the Asian.
the
I
worst,
feel. Go
Hit
on,
it,
Dave.
the worst part is that blonde bitch, and this is one of the other reasons
What do
why
y'all gotta call her blonde
evil.
bitch?
She's a blonde bitch. Straight up, she goes
Every
to
time.
the guy that she
Dave,
wanted.
every
She goes to his girl and says, "If this doesn't work out for you, I have a guy ready for you." And
Yo.
she thinks that A, that she's gonna do that, and B, she thinks it's gonna make him want her, and then he confronts her and is like, "Why would you do that?" And she's like, does the whole non-compatible thing. You're
But
like,
this is what again. This
This
is
is
why
high
I don't.
school.
This is why I can't watch the whole show. This is why
No,
I
you
watched
have
the
to watch
first
it.
episode and the last episode
No, no,
because
no,
I
no, no,
don't
no.
care about this
Bro,
crap in the middle.
That's like getting on a roller coaster and passing out and then coming at the end and taking the picture from the guy in the booth and seeing yourself passed out in the photo and not realizing that the whole ride, you missed the thrill of the ride.
You guys
There's no
enjoy
power
the
what
sleep,
you want.
Brian.
I
Right.
don't
Enjoy the
need.
sleep.
I don't need
No,
the
it's
thrill
cool.
of the ride because it's more fun trying to understand the dynamics of these idiotic people with no
No.
frame of reference.
The
I'm
thrill
telling
is
you,
good.
honestly, I know it sounds weird, but if you watch the last episode without any frame of reference, and these two, who's the couple that broke up, the brunette and the guy who are complaining about, well, when I told you that I couldn't come to the party and you went by yourself, and then I came back,
Oh,
and
God.
all the
Oh,
things that
God.
I'm
Yeah, I know
insecure
those ones.
about are the things that
Oh,
you're bringing
she,
up right now.
she is a
And
whole
the
other
guy-
breed of
but the
insecure.
best
She's
part-
a
Who's he talking
hot
about?
mess.
She starts argue. She's so
The brunette and the
insecure to
guy
the point where
that-
like she starts fights for like out of nowhere.
Yeah, they're the one
Out of
couple that
nowhere.
I'm pretty sure is broken up.
I think his name's Nick, the guy. I
Oh,
don't know
Nick
her
and
name, though.
Danielle. Okay,
Yeah.
so Danielle
that's the
used to
thing.
be a big girl, right? And then she's insecure
Yeah,
still because
exactly.
she has big girl mentality and small girl body.
Sure,
But
sure.
then that Nick
doesn't
dude is just straight.
excuse.
Hold on, Dave. But that Nick guy, some of the fights they get in, he'll legit will say some like ridiculously kind of sideways mean shit, and then she'll be
But I
like, "What are
think-
you saying to me?" And he'll be like, "I didn't say that." And you're like,
So we don't know exactly. Like I don't know
But
how the
again,
show gets
all
edited
the-
in ways where
yeah,
it
they
makes it
edit
look.
in
Yeah.
a way so that
And
he may-
again,
yeah.
So
remember,
I don't know if
didn't
he's
watch
saying
all the
this after.
episodes, So for
Yeah.
me, what I'm seeing that's great is her being like, and you know, why would you bring up that thing that you said last time? And he's just like, what are you? I did like no
Yeah.
joke. They were having a conversation, and then she just started arguing with him, and he's like, "What are you doing? Why are you
Yeah.
arguing right now?" And
Yeah.
I just started laughing. I was like, "This is."
But
I
he
don't
also
even
like
need to
turn
see
his
the
face
previous
up at
fights.
weird shit. Like she'll like, "Oh, I have my friends over, and we'll like sometime like
The costume
you know,
thing.
Yeah, the costume, or we'll like
Oh
dance
my
on tables."
gosh.
And I'm almost like, "My guy, you're 36." First of all, the greatest
He
tidbit of
acts
this-
like he's 50.
right. He's like 33 or 34. He acts like he's 50. She's 28. He expects her to be 40. And I'm almost like, Mike,
This is
listen.
the Nick guy.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, you lucked out. You got a girl who
Yeah.
used to be way bigger, who's now small, who's feeling super sexy, and you're gonna get all the sex. Shut the fuck up, my guy.
Yo,
If
on
you
top
don't
of
shut
that,
up,
like
Yeah, but
she has these
insecure, so-
costumes that she buys, right? Like whenever she hosts people, she wears these
Parties.
like ridiculous costumes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So she's like, I want you to try one on. Like, you know, you're just meeting a girl, like you'll do goofy shit with the girl you know that you're dating. Like you put on
Did you see
costumes.
the
and
stink
you laugh.
face on this
Like,
man?
He is not fun.
Having
Like
not
at all.
participating at all.
And the whole time he has the costume on, he keeps asking her, you know, I'm just trying to understand, like, what's the use
Why?
case for these?
Yeah,
What's the
yeah, yeah.
purpose? What's the use case? I'm like, bro, you're not in a fucking business meeting. It's a fucking date with a girl, and you're wearing a goofy costume. Let loose a little bit, bro.
It's
So
like when you go to the wedding.
unburden your butthole and like loosen it up, bro.
Unburden your butthole. Unburden your butthole. Another title right there. Unburden.
Oh man.
It's like when you go to the wedding and you just take the silly pictures in the photo booth. If
Yeah.
Yeah.
you like, you just there's.
She's like, when I
who's-
have people
who's gonna
over, I wear
explain to
goofy
you-
costumes, you know?
Yeah. Who's gonna explain to you like, hey, so what's the purpose of these pictures? The purpose is these pictures are to be funny. Yeah, but what's the real core meaning of me holding up this sign that
That's
says
him.
I love poutine?
No.
That's
Bitch,
him.
it's just a picture for the
Yeah.
wedding album. What's wrong
Listen.
with you?
Brian, you would get a kick out of, I think it's Jarrett and the next girl who they were like the you know quote unquote
Who's
black
that?
couple on the show.
Oh, the
Oh,
dude
okay.
who proposed to another girl and got turned down. And
Yeah, so then he went with the
Yeah.
next chick,
girl?
and she thinks she's gonna be second fiddle the whole time, but then he's like, whatever. He kind of tries to
Oh,
But
reassure her.
I don't blame
I love
him. Like, it's an experiment. First of all,
Yeah.
you're supposed to have like your list of potential suitors
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like who you think, and
Yeah.
like if that person says no, then hopefully the other person is still available. So she took that a little too seriously at the
Yeah.
end of the day.
Yeah, her whole attitude of like towards the end of the one episode I watched was just like, I really need you to show me. And all I kept thinking was, yo, this is not a test. You also need to show me.
Show
And if
him.
you're gonna keep playing like this, I'm a bounce because obviously just being on this TV show, I'm gonna get more people.
Right.
You're
So I think it's like one episode, and he's all like, "What are you up to tonight?" She's like, you know, like I might go and check my friends somewhere, whatever." She's like, "Yeah, but it's a Tuesday," and he's like, "And?" She's
Yeah.
like, "What?" And I'm almost
you
like,
can't stay out till 3 a.m. every night. I'm not
And I'm-
staying out till 3 a.m.
"No,
every
I'll be
night.
home
What are
until
you
like
talking
1."
about?
Like, what do you mean? And you see the footage, and it's kind of like, but why didn't she just go? And I'm in my head,
The,
I'm
the
just like,
problem is that's exactly the problem is that she's more introverted than he is, and so is the Asian girl's also more introverted than
Yeah.
that guy that she's with. The
I-
two guys are kind of similar in that way, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
So
they're the
she wants him
bros.
to choose hanging out with her over
Yeah.
going out with his friends, which
Yeah.
can be a problem initially.
That
That person has
bromance
to make
was
the
funny, though.
choice.
yeah,
to
you
stay
gotta be
with you
ready.
versus the
Well,
friends.
That
well, that
bromance
or they
with
have to
those two were on
explain
the
that.
beach, like that was funny.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
those two-
yeah.
and the
Yeah.
girls are like watching them be excited. They were like puppies damn, like you bring two puppies together and they're like jumping on each other. I'm like,
Yeah.
you are two grown-ass men. Calm down.
So it's like what was that one? It was
You're in
Rocky
Mexico,
3.
we get it.
Remember Rocky 3 where it's like Apollo Creed and
yes.
and they're like they have the montage. We're training together. It's awesome.
Yeah, pretty much.
God damn. Sorry, Dave, hit us.
No, I was just gonna say for the introverted, extroverted part, I was just gonna say, or have like a conversation where you make them understand, like, yo, it's cool that you want to stay in, but I'm not gonna stay in every day of my life.
Dave.
They had those conversations.
I'm gonna tell you right now that no matter how many times you have that conversation of, oh, it's cool. And yeah, you can go sometimes or whatever. It ain't never cool.
It's never cool. Like,
never cool.
What do you got to do?
First of all, it can be.
Remember
but
that,
it's rare.
No. It'll be cool, but then understand you're getting some kind of gust of hard wind coming to you that afternoon, in the morning of. Like, I'm telling you, bro. If
he walks in the door, he goes, "Why are my nips so hard?" Girl, you cold. Girl, you cold.
Basically, you ain't getting no kind of play, nothing.
You got to give him that line from Heat. You know, wherever that heat is around the corner, you got to be able to walk out of here in 5 seconds flat.
Yeah.
Like, I'm out the door.
That's why
honestly, they could all. That's the problem, is they can all walk out of there in 5 seconds flat. You barely spent a total of a few hours getting to know the person before proposing. You spent maybe, I don't know, a week in Mexico, and now you're living together. So again, a total of what, 3 weeks before a wedding in 2 weeks?
Yeah. Yo, my South Asian dude,
at any point.
Yo, that guy who keeps singing annoys the hell out of me. He needs to stop singing to his girl.
Oh, bro. Please.
But the South Asian dude, though, with how I don't want to marry my auntie, homie.
He bothers me too.
Stop thinking of your girl as your auntie. That is you.
Yo, doesn't he remind you of Aziz?
Yes, he talks.
He's got pure Aziz vibes, bro.
But for me, it was more just the fact that he never tried to do anything, and he's just like, I feel like I'm with my auntie, dude. If you think of someone like that, like,
it's
because he came in hot on the superficial thing, like questions he was asking them right off the
blonde. Yeah, can I carry you?
Well, they were both like that. They were like, yeah, we only date like white folks.
Yeah,
she wasn't superficial.
But she didn't ask. Yeah, she wasn't asking questions about like, are you blonde? Can I carry? Like, he full on walks in and is just like, are you easy to lift? Like he's talking. He like, and he's trying to be slick about it too. Oh, you know, when I go to like, you know, let's say Ocean or Coachella, I go to something like Coachella. You know, I got girls on my shoulders.
Yeah,
and then it's just like, you know, and then she's just like, okay, and he's just like, are you easy to lift up on the shoulders? And yo, the body language of the girl when he asked the question was the most amazing thing. She just slunk back into the seat, and then they went to the testimonial like, this bitch out here trying to figure out if I'm heavy. Like
you don't think the girls are gonna go back on their dates, go back to the other girls and talk about the dates they just had?
Yeah, that's one of the
probably. And I think that's what eventually made him change his tune towards the end of the pod situation, for him to go, you know what, maybe he even said it. He's like, maybe I've been really superficial this whole time. Someone probably called him out. One of the guys, I think, called him out too at one point.
And
then I think someone like that is hard to change.
Master of None.
It sounds like Aziz and yes, exactly.
He's Parks and Rec. He's a bit of Parks and Rec Aziz.
Yeah. 100%. Okay. And then towards the middle and the end, he's turning into Master of None. Aziz.
I don't listen to guys they picked this season for real. Honestly, nobody really interests me. What's his name? Sal.
I don't like him. I don't like him.
He needs to stop singing with his ukulele and his weird music friends. Get out of here, bro.
Ukulele sales went up though. Supposedly,
ukulele sales.
That's what they're saying. They said ukulele sales went up after
not because of that show. Because of that show.
They said the sales, they saw an increase in sales once the show aired, and he kept singing with one.
Boo.
He is annoying.
He got a deal. That's what
I know,
happened.
He got paid.
A deal.
What's the one thing you can bring in this house? This motherfucker.
I'm going to bring this
ukulele. All
bro,
right.
It was so set up in so many scenes where like randomly they're by the water with lanterns on the ground and he's singing this elaborate. I don't like him. He takes
I
her
think
to his
made up
apartment.
songs.
Him and his roommate start singing out of nowhere.
You
Well,
would
like-
listen. If I had a roommate, if I
Come on.
lived with you, Toby, we're
Come
never
on.
singing together. Okay, we're not breaking out of the song. Okay, I'm not gonna sit
Bro,
a girl
I'm not
down and be like,
singing
"Here,
with you,
Danielle,
girl.
meet
What
my
is
roommate
this?
Toby. He does music too."
I'm out
No,
here
no.
third wheeling.
Hey, Toby, grab the mic. I'll hop on the drums. Let's.
Yeah.
Let's...
I'll sing backup for you. What are fucking temptations out here?
Parachute
Horrible.
pants wearing ass nigga.
Horrible.
No.
It really, honestly,
All that to say-
it really made me. I'm like, sure, someone might think it's romantic, but like after a while, wouldn't you be like,
Yeah, it gets annoying.
stop?
Knock it
This is not
off.
Disney.
Oh no, you got to take
Know
the
when
ukulele
to
and
quit.
smash it against the wall, just bam, Bluto
Oh
style.
man, with his opera voice and
Hold
shit.
on, give me that. Give me that.
No,
Give me that.
then he reaches behind the couch and he has a second
Gets
one.
another.
He has that deal and he just continues going.
I saw that coming.
Moving on to Love is Blind, because I did not think we were going to talk about Love is Blind for 15 minutes straight, but we
Oh, why
did.
not? That's not even my view the right thing, man. Shit.
Yeah. That's why I was like, we got to
It
cut
is
that 'cause
now.
we only have 35 minutes left, and we did that much time on that show.
It's a great show, man.
Peacemaker.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Peacemaker.
Oh wow, I wish we were doing this show from the beginning. Peacemaker,
Yeah.
We done goofed.
but
I mean, I was actually of the mind that I'm okay to wait till the whole thing was done, because I wanted to see if they could carry the consistency of the style the whole way through, because I was
Interesting.
worried that it was going to start off well, but it wasn't going to be able to hold that style the whole way through. But they did.
That's the-
and they
that's the
stuck
DC
landing.
I
Yeah,
feel
that's
like
the DC curse. That's the DC
Yeah.
curse that you're trying to avoid. I get it.
Exactly. That's why I was worried, because Snyder has
We
done
get so
doing
excited.
all of them. Yeah, everything at DC starts off strong, and I was just like, you know what? Let me wait and see if this Peacemaker show can actually stick the landing. And I should have known that, like we've all said before, they had to get a Marvel man to come in, and Gunn came in and he did the job, and he delivered, and he stuck the landing.
Yo,
I'm worried
he's
about
dating,
Gunn though
he's
now.
dating Harcourt in real life. You know that?
Yeah, if fiance, he can get they're engaged.
Oh yeah,
He
'Cause that.
James
proposed
Gunn. Yeah.
to her. Yeah.
Wow, she nice. Anyways,
He's
I feel
smart.
like is he okay? Did he write this show?
Actually, that's actually why Harcourt never made out with John Cena, by the way, on the show.
good,
but anyway,
because
go
I
ahead.
would not be that dude. I'd be like, no. So I'd be.
I feel like you're directing a cuck porno of some sort. Anyway, go ahead.
Do you think the man wrote this show so that he could get all that wild shit off his chest? Because like he
For sure.
I don't know. Like
About,
For
like,
sure.
his
Guardians
childhood
isn't
or
as
something?
raunchy as he would
he
probably
writes
like it to
racism
be.
a little too well.
Oh,
Oh, okay, that. Okay,
You know
I
what
thought
I'm
you
saying?
meant.
Yeah.
Like
Hey.
all them lines for his dad, dog. That was a little too
well, I'm
I'm not saying he is, but I'm just
No,
saying
no.
Guns comes
No.
from that controversial path. So is he like,
Yeah.
is this like a shot to Disney? Like, this is what you get for firing me for saying shit from, you know what I mean? Like,
No,
he's
I
just,
don't-
it
he was
made
just
me
running,
think-
gunning. No, James Gunn.
it had me thinking more of the idea that, like, because Gunn, I know a lot of these shows they say written by this person. I do think it was a team, though. Like, I don't know that he wrote all. I hope he didn't write all that by himself, because you're right. It's a
He
little
probably
scary
had-
if you
I'm sure
start
he had help.
Yeah, if you start watching a show and this man comes out with all the perfect little racist lines, and you're just like,
But like,
did these
perfect.
people sit in a room like waxing poetic about what's the racist shit we could say to make this character seem even more horrible?
Not like that, but everybody just like not screen talking at each other. Like
Yeah.
everybody just like, yeah, I get it's good comedy, but I'm just wondering like, what were you like? What did you have to be on to get into the mood to write this show? Where most of the dialogue is, I don't know what's happening, and it's like smart, funny dialogue, and then this other like screaming at you dialogue, and then you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Yeah,
Do you think everything is written, or a good chunk of it could be
Improvised because Vigilante's
think
a
it's-
special kind of asshole. And
yeah, I
don't-
think it's a good mix. I think James Gunn is the type to let you do one for me, one for you.
yeah.
I feel like
Yo,
he
I
lets
have
you do
looked
that on
everywhere for like writing credits for this show every single time, and it always just says that he wrote it in 8
Exactly.
weeks by himself. He wrote it in 8 weeks by himself. So like, chances are he wrote it in 8 weeks by
I
himself.
mean, yeah, I guess if he wrote it like a movie and it's just shot, cut
Yeah.
up, I guess that's
Hold on.
possible.
It feels
How
like
old is
that.
hardcore.
Yeah.
She's
I'm
like
not
late
saying
30s.
it's not possible, but the reason I say I feel like maybe other people were involved is because even the scripts that are credited to only one writer sometimes have other people who help punch up lines and stuff like that. They just don't get a credit on it. So, I mean,
Yeah. She's actually my age, I think.
Jennifer Holland?
He was
Yeah.
yeah. He was married to what's her name from The Office before that.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah. No.
Which one from The Office?
The main
Jenna?
girl. Jenna Fisher. Yeah.
Really? James Gunn?
Mhm.
Yo, James gonna be slanging it out here, huh?
Mhm.
Fuck, boy. Sheesh.
Wait, how much younger is Holland than Jennifer?
Jennifer Holland.
Jenna Fisher is like almost 50.
Okay.
1987 is
45.
Jennifer Holland. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
she's younger than
she's
me.
our
Yeah, I
age,
knew
yeah.
she was younger than me.
James Gunn, how old are you, sir? James Gunn is
late 50s.
He's like 50 also.
nah, man. I
Yeah,
don't
man. He's
know.
like 50, 55.
No,
Like,
I know
around
that.
there.
I'm saying not like
20-year difference. Yep.
Skinny, are you trying to say that he was 20 when she was born, and it's a little odd that his ex-wife was also 20 when she was born?
No, what I'm saying is I don't know what James is packing, but I don't know how he's slamming it enough to be doing that.
He's got
That's what I'm
guns,
saying.
bro. He's
Because
got these guns.
Like he's grizzly gray, like he's super gray. Like this could be her like older uncle.
Yo.
What?
Oh
What-
yeah,
James
big
Gunn.
fact.
James Gunn is legit economist.
Mm.
Yo, that is not a compliment. That is not a compliment. Oh my god, yo, that's also
Boy.
when you say that, it makes me think of the fact in the last episode, the scene where they're
Yep.
talking and he bumps into the guy and he's just like, "Why did your host do that to his beard?" and he has to
Just says the
explain it.
whole monologue. Yep.
And you're like, this motherfucker's about to cry. Like, this is so sad. Like, why did you make him James Gunn out here just being like, you know what? Let me just write this scene for myself.
But
I
let's
dyed
talk
my
about
beard.
the show a little bit though.
Yeah, sure.
Cena, excellent acting.
Yeah.
Cena brought it. He did an amazing job as Peacemaker, even more
Killed
so
it.
than when he did the movie. Like
I think the movie was literally a dry run for this. Like
Yeah,
this he acted. I actually forgot it was John Cena. I think I've said that before. I only saw the Peacemaker Christopher Smith character, or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Hold on. I gotta show
the
this.
concept.
It was therapy during COVID. Your therapy is writing wild. Anyways, all right.
Writing wild racist shit.
Getting it all off his chest.
Especially the stuff with the Asian.
Yeah, bro.
The Stop Asian Hate, and this is what he was writing.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, James, maybe don't admit you wrote all that shit by yourself. That starts to look mad suspicious, dude.
I just looked at my writing team and asked them what was the most messed up thing someone has said to you. That would be the best. That'd be the best. Like
he also had the scene with Vigilante going up against the Aryan. What's his name?
Yeah,
again?
White Dragon,
and like dissing him in jail, and him and his Aryan brothers, and kind of like putting them in their place in that jail scene. I thought that was cool.
He did that well.
Vigilante
and
has to
fight.
be.
Vigilante had some of the best fights.
Yeah, Vigilante has to
one of the
be
parts.
probably my favorite character on the show.
Something's wrong with that actor.
What do you mean?
Nah, he does that too well. There was
He's
one when he's in the van and
on
he's
the
doing
spectrum.
this dance and he's just like flapping his arms up against his chest. I'm like, you do that too well. Something's wrong with you.
He's a good actor. The character's
He's a
on
great
the
actor.
spectrum.
He's a great actor, but nah, I wouldn't want to hang out with him.
what was that dude's
No,
name?
I wouldn't want to hang out with Vigilante. That's
No, not Vigilante, the actor. I'm not trying to be
No.
around you, bro.
Funny enough,
Too method.
I think the
Method.
concept of the
Method.
I think the concept of the butterflies taking over humans is a far better villain. It should have been the villain for the Suicide Squad movie. It would
Yeah,
have made so much
Yeah.
more sense than
It
the
would've been
giant
pretty cool.
starfish.
yeah. It would have been pretty cool had they
Oh,
done that.
Starro?
Yes,
Yeah.
because Starro's the villain in the movie, and then even in the show in the last episode, they make a reference to how Economist goes, "Oh man, not another kaiju," and then runs off.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, yeah, that's pretty funny that they're like nodding to the movie and sticking with it. But it was, yeah.
I really wish they didn't kill that
Fantastic.
big larva. They shouldn't have done that. I felt bad.
The
for
cow?
it. Yeah, why didn't go and do
Man,
that?
what? You felt bad for the cow?
Why?
When they explained it, and I was like, "Oh, you're just a big dumb larva. You don't know what's happening here." Like,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but the concept of the fact that, and I think she was still lying to Peacemaker in the end.
100%.
I get-
lying.
We're trying
Right.
to save your planet. It's just like,
And why'd you
wait.
kill all these people instead of trying to
Yeah.
talk to me?
Stupid. You gotta get rid of the dummies. You know.
She- yeah,
I love it. I love when
um,
she's just like explaining to him all this stuff, and I'm thinking in my head, what if the host was just someone that believed in Greenpeace and stuff, and she's just using the host idea of, and the host also knew about Peacemaker's story,
Yeah.
So the whole thing about like at any cost, I was just like, you're saying specific lines that you know would get through to him.
Exactly.
I feel like this is a setup. So
yeah, I was glad. Someone said Judo Master was funny too, and I thought so.
Oh, yeah.
Unexpectedly, like a scene-stealing role. I think Judo Master.
Yes, a lot of times.
I appreciate it.
When at the end when he's like yelling. Like he's so angry, and I was just like, "Are you upset because you flipped sides and that side lost?" Or like, I don't even understand.
I'm not gonna lie, I never understood his real motivation.
Yeah,
throughout the show,
he was hired as a. Okay, wait, was Judo Master a host to one of them?
Maybe
I don't think so.
We never see him as like get infected by them.
No,
and we hear
I think he was just hired as the bodyguard to Goff.
Yeah.
But then he knew about what Goff was. So why wouldn't he have been a butterfly?
Right. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Why would you not have made Judo Master? Like, why would you not make Judo Master a butterfly?
These guys are going to fuck around, make me respect DC.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
It's a really good show, man. It actually surprised me a lot. But then
Homeboy pulled out all the stops, though.
Yeah.
He called
big or go home.
He called in all the favors. Like, listen, for this last episode, I'm gonna need you, and you. You can only get two of us. You and you.
Yeah.
I kind of
we could talk about it. We could talk about it.
I feel like we knew which two were gonna be there because those two have movies.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yes.
And
the other two are not. The other Wonder Woman, I'm not sure if she
doesn't
coming
have
back after what happened in
right
84.
She's still working.
And Henry Cavill has no contract.
Exactly. when that came and everyone was acting like it was a big surprise, I was just like,
really?
You guys were surprised that the two Warner Brother properties that have movies coming out showed up in the Warner Brothers series? What are you guys talking about? Like,
so they actually knew what they were doing this time around?
I know, right?
Just how dare they actually do something logical?
I imagine the producers are like, okay, so James, we usually have this problem around the fourth quarter where we just fumble everything. How does Marvel do it? Well, guys, they follow the story and they pull out all the stops.
Right?
You're not supposed to pull out?
So you mean we could have our movie stars be in the TV shows for glimpses? Yes, you idiots. Really?
What a crazy idea.
That's nuts.
And then
you know, one thing that annoyed me, and I feel like it's because we just pay too much attention to shit. But I'm like, how did everyone get there before the Flash? Like, why was the Flash the last one to zoom into the scene? How did Aquaman get there, first of all?
I'll give you guys
He's not flying. Did Superman just drop him on the ground with him? Or Wonder Woman? Can you fly in this iteration? She probably can.
The world is 90%,
like, why is the Flash the last one there?
Water.
The Flash is probably taking his sweet time to rub Iris's face in slow motion again before he came over.
Gross.
Guys, just give me 5 minutes. I gotta just speak to Iris. You're already running. She's in slow mo. What are you doing? That's creepy.
I want to give credit to Danielle Brooks too.
Yeah, right here on the corner of our screen.
Yeah,
somehow it's only her face showing.
I know,
right.
On purpose to play out that way, but it worked out. As the audience's surrogate, like this character that's not really part of this world, but is part of this world now, and us kind of watching the. Because I understand what James Gunn was saying when he said she's the co-lead. I get that. She's not titled as the co-lead for Peacemaker, but when you're watching the show, she's the surrogate for us. She's not a superhero. She's not in this life. She's Waller's daughter who just gets brought in and is told to like.
That's random.
Yeah,
there's only like one or two standalone scenes for all the other characters, whereas she kind of has, if not just as much as Peacemaker, but she has quite a few scenes where she's like leading the scene a little bit.
Yeah.
So I get that.
Is this did Waller ever have a daughter, or is this like a new character for this show?
I think she did.
I'm not sure.
In the comic books, I think she does have a family, but the family's kind of like, fuck you for being Amanda Waller.
Yeah, you're never
like
around.
Like they're literally like, because of you, like things have happened to us that if you weren't you and you weren't doing the stupid shit that you're doing, protecting us, we would have normal lives.
I'm sure, like in some iterations too, like her family died or something like that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and that's why she's doing what she's doing, basically. Never again.
So I think she has 3 children, actually, 2 boys and a girl.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Danielle does an amazing job. She's really good. Steve Aggie does an economist. Wonderful. He's delivered throughout the whole
did
show.
it well.
Even
I think
the,
every character had growth in the show, which is
Yeah.
what's perfect. They weren't like just super one-dimensional. They all had levels to things.
Yeah.
Little areas where they actually each grew, which is awesome, actually.
Yeah, leveled out well. What else? What other shows have you guys been watching? Dave, you put down Money Heist.
Yeah, so I finally got to put on Money Heist.
Seeing as most people have already watched it,
I'm not going to go over it.
Okay,
I'm not going to go over it.
Yo, I think Dave is our like Be Kind Rewind guy on the show.
No,
he always goes back.
Always has a throwback show. There's 101 new shows. I'm gonna watch this show from.
I watched Casablanca this week, guys.
Hey,
you should.
That's my plans for this week. What's your problem?
Damn good movie. Damn good movie. That's so funny though.
But
man,
is season 1 and 2 supposed to just prove that sex ruins everything? Because that's the only thing that went wrong in this heist.
You mean
People
what's
had
her
sex.
name?
If people didn't have sex, the heist would have
Who's
went
people?
fine.
You mean Tokyo?
Everybody. Every death is associated with someone having sex.
Yep. Now,
Yeah,
look at
yeah,
the show.
it's
and
like
it starts with Tokyo.
Yeah, because Tokyo has a relationship
she is
with
the
Rio.
reason in season 2. She is the reason in season 1. She's unhinged. Doesn't really care about anyone but what she wants and her feelings.
And
Just seeing these masks, I don't need to watch.
Professor has sex.
It's
No,
good.
it's good. It's a good show, man.
Really good show.
Scary ass masks.
The professor having sex literally kills 2 characters right away.
It's also the thing that got them found out when they kind of just left another one of the hostages alone with the phone.
Oh
while
yeah,
they went to I'm like, what is happening, guys?
you guys do
You're
know
on-
this is a heist, right? Why are you being this stupid?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I think the concept of having because the rules are don't have any relationships whatsoever and no sex. Like, I get for the first 5 months up until the heist, that's kind of uncalled for. But when you have a gun, like a gun and a condom, is that what you're going into this heist with? Like, I don't understand.
I know.
Yeah,
Right? I was
seriously.
gonna-
Condom.
They brought condoms.
Fuck you talking about?
They're about to
Raw
be
doggy.
billionaires. They don't care about friggin' having kids. They pop them all out.
Forget kids.
I honestly don't even want to review the show. I just want to acknowledge that this show just proves that sex ruins everything. That's all.
Wow,
That's all.
that's
this is.
crazy.
Yeah.
You know how
You want to rob?
mean-
You want to rob a bank? Don't have sex.
That's it. If you don't have sex while you're on the heist, you will succeed.
But I
That's what
feel like
this
that's
show
the
shows.
theme for all heist movies. It's always that the relationships that people have and the emotions that they have
But you're
always ruin everything.
But you're saying the
That's-
relationships and emotions. I'm not saying that because you decided to fuck. People died.
Yeah, it's interesting.
sorry,
Maybe-
Everything wrong
but-
that
but
happened.
that's
is
why-
because you fucked.
Thoughts, but either
But
way,
that's why I say it's kind of like maybe just the thrill of it. Also, it's like what they like, right? Just what gets them hot. Also, like they were in there for a while with people tied up or whatever, doing some other. I don't know.
Wonder
There's no
Woman
reason.
kink, man. They like the whips and the lasso.
Like
You
What-
do
what-
you, Money Heist.
Denver has sex with the girl who has an affair with the owner, which pisses him off,
Ball
which
gags.
leads him to get
You
motivation
know what the ball gags are for.
to then organize everything. And the only reason why that thing that organized happens is because the professor has sex.
Yeah. The professor
Cash
and what's her
rules
name
everything
again?
around you. Sex
Raquel?
ruins everything around you. There you go.
That was it.
Okay.
It's a good
Okay.
show. If
It's a good
anyone's
show,
like
Skinny.
me.
They're wearing the masks are Salvador Dali masks.
Yeah.
Because when you Google things and Netflix is like jump scare
Yeah.
or whatever the fuck it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll go
it's
next.
Like that version, the version of the Guy Fawkes mask.
Really quickly, I'll just go over the fact that I watched Inventing Anna. That shit was dope.
oh yeah, the Netflix show.
I stopped
That shit
watching
was-
that.
that shit was- you
an
stopped
episode
watching
in.
it?
Yeah, I think
love-
I'm just coming off the Tinder swindler. So it just
Oh,
feels
yeah,
the
okay.
same to me.
It's like Twinder Swindler, but
Less
not
sex.
because lot less. Yeah, no sex whatsoever.
No sex.
People got away with it then.
You get
no, because I know the real.
Mad at that comeback. I'm not mad at that comeback. That
all
was a
right.
good.
I know the real story too, so it's kind of
Solid
like
callback.
weird to see.
Well, yeah, I didn't know the real story, so
Ah.
when me seeing this, I was like, okay, cool. They brought back Anna I'm gonna say Chomsky from My Girl, so that was really cool. Like to see her.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't watch the other shows that she's been in, so it was really
Veep?
cool to see her
She
as
plays.
lead
She
actress in
plays
this.
the. She
Vivian
plays the
Kent.
reporter, right?
She
Journalist.
plays the reporter. Yeah, the
You should
journalist.
definitely check out Veep though if you're because she's really
Yeah,
good.
I heard she's on
Yeah.
Veep, so I might go and check
That's
that
why her
afterwards.
face looks so familiar. I was like, this girl looks familiar. I
That's
don't
what I
Yeah,
said. And I
My
had to
Girl,
find
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
It's My Girl.
Good for her.
Right? So I mean, tells the story of just like I guess she was like a journalist, and at one point she kind of got her reputation ruined for just not fact checking or something. And one of the people that she reported on lied to her. Anyway, she meets up with this Anna Sorokin who invented a whole identity as this Anna Delvey person, and it goes into how not only did she like scam people, but she almost managed to get like a $40 million loan from like one of the most like craziest banks in the States. And this Vivian Kent journalist was more or less not trying to tell her story, but more or less expose the American like system from kind of like how could this girl who seemingly has nothing, who just has a reputation of having money, get all these doors open for her based on nothing. So the story to build up is good.
trying to because what's it called, expose an elitist world. Also on top of that, they were saying like she's just like this dumb little girl, and she's like, nah, for someone to do this, there's some level of like
you got to have some kind of smarts about you to be able to do this to mad people, numerous people, and then keep moving. Like she ripped an old lady off for like $64,000 and then just kept it pushing, bro. And that's what I get out of the show. Like Tinder Swindler was cool to me, not because the girls are losing their money, but it's how you just effortlessly just be like, run me this cash, and they do it, and you're like, okay, here you're putting this person in $82,000 debt, $94,000 debt, so on and so
not
forth.
caring, like the ability to just not care. There's a certain switch that some people just don't have turned on.
To be that sociopathic.
And
100%.
I think he
100%.
came out recently saying like, "No, I'm going to tell my side of the story."
I have the clip. No, he literally says, "This is all made up. I am not this person." Like I'm like, bro, we have receipts.
Everyone has pictures.
What's happening? And his girlfriend, his new girlfriend, is right there next to him when he's doing this.
Yeah, I saw. That's wild.
Weird.
So then,
so weird.
To go on in this story, and I missed the episode because Danielle, again, this is a Danny pick. She was watching and I was working, but apparently this girl also dated Firefest homie.
Yeah,
I don't know if she dated him, but she definitely used him for his spot for a few months.
Yeah, so she was kind of hanging out with Firefest dude while he was kind of planning Firefest, and at some point in the show,
not planning Firefest,
right? And then at some point in the show, they talk about Firefest over dinner, and she makes like in the show, she makes a joke. She's like, "Oh, well, I guess he couldn't cut it," and I'm like, "Wait, hold on." This is a dinner while she's also at dinner with the dude who bought the Wu-Tang album. And who put up all the prices? Skrelly. So it's kind of like, are all these elitists just scammers that didn't get caught?
Yes.
Yeah, bro.
Yes.
This happens on a daily. That so much money being moved around in those circles because of connections, not because of like some kind of education or anything.
Attract sociopaths, and they like to rip people off because they don't care. Yeah. That is the way the world works.
At one point, there's a girl,
and it's white collar crime. They'll get away with it. Pat on the wrist.
Cops aren't coming for that. Yeah, like at one point, they're in Morocco. Her friend, her friend who's trying to be up under her friend, offers her work. Who works for Vanity Fair. She offers her work Amex card. Then bounces from Morocco when a dude she's with is like, listen, this is a bad situation. This bitch ain't got no money. We need to go right now. So they leave. Hey, yo, Anna, I need the card back. Hey, Anna, I need the card back. She charged a full card, $62,000. Like you didn't see that coming. Yeah. Okay. Number 2, the girl is, again, this pertains to the story, may not be true. Instead of just going to your boss right away and being like, hey, yo, I fucked up.
Yeah.
So
cancel this card.
Just cancel this card right now. Do something. No.
Just say the card's stolen. Hell.
I lost the card.
Right? Stolen. You're going to go and she's like, Anna, I need you to return the money to me. I've been going broke trying to keep up with the minimum payments. The fuck are you doing?
Stupid.
Wait,
Then the person
Stupid.
sends you $5
Minimum
grand, and you're gonna
payments
keep
of-
messaging them.
minimum payments of a work card?
Yep.
Thank you.
What?
Yeah. She's
How does that even make
stupid.
sense?
So
You know
wait,
what?
Sam-
At that point, Anna did right.
So
Anna did
And
right.
Dave, real quick, you're in accounting. So imagine someone from accounting comes up to me and at my office are like, "Hey, Keel, so
Dude.
listen, we need you to A, return that card, and B, if there's any unpaid balance, first of all, if that was me, that wouldn't even be a conversation.
First
Keel
of
Roberts,
all-
come to the head office, please."
you're supposed to monitor that shit.
Yeah.
Like if it's maxed out from a company,
The
unless
accounting
there's-
department should have noticed. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
a number of things that
There's
don't
so
make
many-
sense in
yeah.
the story.
yeah.
But I mean, it's
It's dramatized. It's
TV, so,
dramatized.
yeah.
Like if
All
you're
I'll
telling
say
a,
is that
a
I'm never
movie-
giving anyone my Amex card from work. What kind of
Yeah.
idiot am I?
First of
You're
all,
just-
why would you?
why are you
give
bringing that with
anyone-
you on vacation?
Like, why would you give it to anyone other than your person?
No,
Like, I could understand giving to, like, let's say you're with your spouse
Trying to
and
keep
you're
up.
like, go to the store there and go buy the thing there and bring it, set stuff back while I do this. Like, I could get that, but like, oh, I'm gonna leave you now for a few hours with your work card.
Well,
No,
if you're not an elitist, you're
Also,
hanging out with a quote unquote
just
elitist.
for
you're
people
trying to
who are
keep up.
wondering, we're not victim blaming. We are
No.
showing the flaws in the system that they're trying to depict.
Yeah.
Because Dave, being an accountant who works in a large corporate space, understands that someone with an Amex card, corporate Amex card, charges $62,000
the
is not
maximum
going to
of the
start getting
card.
the bill to them personally and start making minimum payments. That doesn't make sense.
no, because like,
Yeah.
if you give a card, like logically speaking, you have a card for a purpose.
Yeah.
It's
We don't
for
even have to go
expenses that
into
are
it.
supposed to be
We don't have to go into it.
annual.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
You're
You're
not.
minutes
hurting me
left.
accounting. See, why are you making me work on my time
I mean-
off?
I mean, right here, I remember at some point someone charged something to my debit card, and then my bank immediately called me. It's like, "Hey,
Yo.
Yeah.
did you charge
Let alone
$50 in Las Vegas?"
$62,000.
No, I'm in
Yeah.
Montreal right now. Did
Wild.
not go to Las Vegas. Oh, okay, don't worry about it. We'll handle
Yeah,
it. We'll take it.
Okay.
$62.
Yo, that's the worst part
60,000.
because at the end of it, they're just like, "Yo," the lawyer is cross-examining her on the stand, and he's basically like, "Okay, so like, did you have to pay this back or anything?" And they're like, "No, Amex kind of took care of it. So once they realized how crazy the story was, so not only did you have to do none of that,
Oh,
but
stupid.
like what?
What illegal shit is happening at Amex that they're just letting go 60?
Credit
Yeah.
card
The-
companies, how many scams and how many
Yeah.
The
things
best
happen
part
that
of
they-
this
yeah.
not giving a fuck attitude about this girl is imagine getting called, blowing up your phone all day long, and then she's like, "Listen, Anna, I need you to send me this money." Anna's like, "Money sent." Sends her $5 grand. The girl goes and gets mad and calls the girl back. Listen, if you got the $5 grand, walk away because she's not gonna pay you. If she knows the bill is 62 grand and you're getting $5 grand, you're not getting your money.
Man,
Keep
must be
the
living
5
some-
grand and then report the 62 stuff.
They must
Yeah.
be living,
back.
they
Look
must
the
be
logic.
living some great lives where their friends pay them back on time, gives their stuff back on time in a timely manner, and they just expect respect and of their things and their time and their
That's
money.
so funny. You can
That's-
tell which
that's
kids.
what I'm thinking about.
You
I
can
want to
tell
be a
which
part of
kids
that
never
life.
lent out their Super Nintendo
Yeah.
cartridges. You know.
Never
I don't
got-
lend
have
out
yet
shit.
to get
Never-
back some
never
of my
got-
movies that I've lent to family.
When you
never got
lend
your
people
Game Boy
figurines,
stolen
but
when
you
you were
don't give them
5
the
years
weapons.
old.
Yo, I
Sorry,
didn't-
Dave. Sorry, say that again, Dave.
It's like when you lend people action figures, but you
nothing
don't
to
let them have the weapons because you're like, you will lose those things.
Yeah, the weapons.
I trust that you won't break it, but you will lose all this.
Yeah.
I did that. I lend people Ninja Turtles, not even. give them
And
the
what
weapons.
happened? What was that story about? Like rubber tape or whatever you had to use?
Yeah. Lost the belts because my friend lost the belts. I lent some people. I lent this one kid my original Grand Theft Auto when I was 16. Right,
Mm.
16.
Yeah.
We didn't talk. Boy, did I call him back when I was 21 and be like, "Hey, yo, Kaczynski, remember when I lent you that GTA?" And he was like, yeah. I was like, "Yo, we need to meet up." Blah blah blah. He's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, sure." So I meet up. I get the game, do the transaction. He's like, "Yeah, man, we should really go out for a beer sometime." Won't be doing that.
No,
Keep it
no.
pushing. Keep
You
it
kept
pushing.
my shit for 5 years. I
Wait, I
don't.
will not be going out for a beer with you. Just give me my game.
Okay.
Sheesh.
That's funny, man.
Jaws, hit us.
Holy.
Devoured
What you
on
got?
Vice TV. What's that all about?
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, so Devoured on Vice TV is a kind of like it's kind of like a documentary about crime and food going on. So for the first episode, it's called Slice of Pie, and it's about the mafia in New York and all the different pizzerias, but specifically they call it like an upside down pizza, where it's like a squared pizza, and then you have the I think the cheese and then the tomato sauce on top and stuff like that. So it's a very specific type. I think it was like what J and B or L and B, and then there was like a second one that opened up another place called Squares in Staten Island, and so it turned out like a mob guy's kids were working at the first place, and then they took the recipe and they opened up a second place as another place in Staten Island. There's like this beef going on between these two mafia bosses, and then like the owner of the original place ends up getting killed, and everyone's trying to figure out, is this related to the mob and this and that. And the guy from the original place, he was like a person that was like well known in the community. He would ask you about how your day, how's your parents doing, all right, which slice do you want, oh I'll get you. And it was like everyone was really, really hurting about it. And it was really interesting and fascinating to tell you about how the mafia works, the different levels of the captain, the boss, etc., etc. And I think it's narrated by
John Cryer.
John Cryer, yeah. Say. A legend out in these streets.
The most random part of this whole thing is that Lex Luthor from the CW is narrating this thing.
The dad from 2.5 Men.
We've reduced him to Lex Luthor on CW now.
Ducky from what was it? Pretty in Pink?
Yes.
Or 14 Candles. Which one was that one?
16 Candles.
16
but I don't know if he's Ducky in 16 Candles.
I'll give him 2.5 Men fame.
I'm just saying
his career is long.
Yeah, I'm just listing his most recent. Money. I wasn't trying to disrespect the man.
No. His career is long, and he's a really
made money. How much do you think John Cryer is worth?
You don't think that he made money off of 2.5 Men?
Yes, of course. I'm not. Wait, this is going to turn into a boring tangent about.
I don't want to go on this tangent.
Residuals on that.
Continue talking Devoured. Sorry, I don't know why.
I don't want this tangent. I was just making it just a comment.
It was what I'm saying is that was on me.
His narration is really good, and what's even crazier about it is like this happened, I think, in 2015-16 around. This,
it's recent. I thought
this was pretty recent. So you have like former cops from the area talking about it, the DA talking about it, and like the cop is talking about it. He's from the area, and he's like, he knows the people, and like, you know, he's like, either in this area, your parents, your families are cops, or your family's part of the mafia. And so, you know, sometimes we know each other and stuff like that. And we just kind of keep it cool, keep it moving. And sometimes it overlaps. And he's like, and you could see he was very uncomfortable kind of talking about it because he doesn't want to say people's names because something might go down. He's like wiping his brow off and stuff like that. So, you know, like when I was like, is this recent? Because this doesn't seem like it was like, oh, in the 80s. Like they're showing you film, they're showing you clips from the news and stuff. And it's like, oh, this
HD quality.
Yeah, it does not look old, you know. And then
that's kind of the crazy thing to think about, that now documentaries, when they talk about back in the day, sometimes they mean like 2005. Like to me, the fact that a documentary talking about back in the day, and that's like anything after 2000 being back in the day, fucks with me big time.
Yeah,
bro, it just goes to show things don't change, man. It just get they just get better at hiding it.
And what was really weird about it was like they were explaining to you how protection rackets work and stuff like that. And in the back of my head, I was like, yeah, I know how protection racket works. I learned that on like Gargoyles from the 90s.
So much shit we shouldn't have been watching.
Yeah, there's
no, Gargoyles is for kids, but the fact that they weave in that how protection rackets work, the Illuminati.
Yeah, dude.
The episodes about the pack were a little bit.
Naming the topics you're talking about, that technically doesn't mean
that's not for kids, John.
Guys say Gargoyle is for kids like Wu-Tang is for children, bro.
Wu-Tang is ODB wasn't lying, man. Wu-Tang is for the children.
Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh man,
I'm telling you to protect your neck and strap and so on.
What's
really good. Definitely check it out. It's on YouTube, but I think it's supposed to be on Vice TV, but you can actually catch the whole thing on YouTube and everything like that. And it's actually really fascinating and, you know, a little bit sad at the end. You know, you find out what happened to the guy and why it happened.
Yeah.
And you know,
no spoilers, kids. You got to watch it yourselves.
No spoilers, No spoilers.
It's
So where's
if
Jesus
you
and
wa-
Meryl doing racist Italian accents when you need them?
Where's Desus and Mero?
Yo, that's a whole other
Them
conversation.
niggas take so many breaks. I don't
Yo.
understand that. What kind
Anyways.
of contract do you have where you take 9 breaks throughout a season? Just
Yo.
for
the
just
best, the best
True, true,
contract.
true.
Yeah, but yo, man,
when we get on, I want that. Hey,
television's all about what you've done for me lately, and you people forget you quickly.
Yeah,
There's a
y'all
lot of
can't-
content
a
out there.
lot of
so-
funny shit happened that y'all aren't commenting on.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, the last two things we have the CBC docs. If you guys haven't had a chance, if you're
Yo, that
Canadian,
Patty doc blew up on my shit, bro.
yeah,
Same
Patty
here.
versus
Know that.
Patty. I saw it recently. I shared it. You guys all shared it here. The documentary is super interesting. It's
What's
small.
It's,
Patty versus Patty, a CBC doc about
explaining
Jamaican
why it's
patty.
called the Jamaican patty. Well, not called. It's always been a Jamaican patty, but why specifically it's like enriched in our brains that it's the Jamaican patty here in Canada.
Well, I mean, you're right though. It's essentially why it's called the Jamaican patty. Because when I was a kid, my parents didn't call it a Jamaican patty. They just told me,
Yeah.
My
patty.
parents are Trini. They're not giving any props to Jamaican. They're just like have a patty.
Like we're not out here giving like
We're not just praising Jamaicans all day long. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like my mom's like,
Wait.
"Oh, the people make patty too in a man." Like,
Yeah, that's true. I remember I shared this with my cousins. One of my Trinity cousins got to 3 minutes and 4 seconds and shut it out.
Why?
So me and my girl just like watched the whole thing, and then we went back like what happened. And so it's right at the part where the dude's saying we have to this is where we're explaining why it's called a Jamaican patty. We have to call, everyone calls it Jamaican patty now, but this is why we have to call the patty the Jamaican patty. And she shut it.
She goes,
Some foolishness. She shut it down. I was like, it has a happy ending at
So
the end. She's
when
like,
I originally shared it, I was gonna be like, "See, told y'all it was not called the Jamaican patty," because as a kid, I used to take that like shit personally. When like
oh yeah,
you'd have the Robbie,
Oh, yeah.
my friend Robbie, shout out to you, Robbie Robinson. He'd be like, "Hey man, is that a Jamaican patty?" And I'd be like, "Listen,
Yeah.
I'm 8, but you need to stop saying Jamaican patty like that. It's a patty. I ain't Jamaican. It's a patty. I don't know I can't confirm that it's a Jamaican patty, but I know you don't know that it's a Jamaican patty."
But
Turns
hold
out
on.
he
Can
was
I-
right.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Because I'm ignorant to this issue, to this matter. But we have a version in Nigeria called a meat pie, by the way. Literally the same
shit.
thing.
Yeah, sure.
The dough is different and it has a different flavor.
yeah.
What is the patty different by
No.
region in taste and flakiness and flavor, or is it just that
maybe the
everybody
meat-
makes a
maybe-
patty
Yeah,
and they don't
I
want
think
to
it's everyone
call it
makes it.
Jamaican patty?
The
Everyone
season
makes
might
the
be
patty.
different because like if you're in Trinidad, the seasoning they're using is probably different from the seasoning they're
in
using
Jamaica.
in Jamaica,
Yeah.
and the seasoning they're using in St. Vincent and the seasoning they're using in Antigua.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we all make
all-
patties, so it's the meat that's seasoned a certain way, and then the pastry is almost always the same pastry.
So what is this documentary really about then?
The
Jamaican
documentary is
documentary-
about when the migration in the 70s of a lot of West Indians happened in the Kensington market area in Toronto and all over the eastern part of Canada, that they started calling themselves like the Patty King or something Patties or so and so's Palace, and the Canadian Health Board, whatever, started walking into these places being like, hey, ho, you can't call that thing a patty. That name has to go. And they're all just like, what are you talking about? This is a patty. Yeah, but here in Canada, a patty is the thing you put in a burger. And they're just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
That patty. Who the
And we
hell
can't
calls
confuse
a
our-
burger patty a patty? It's a burger.
Dude,
No
watch
one.
the
Krabby
documentary.
Patty.
Literally
Mr.
what you're saying
Krabs.
is what
Yeah.
happens in the
Yeah.
documentary. Literally.
Mr. Krabs. Krabby Patty.
You mean a hamburger? And she's like, no, it's a patty. And you're
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
we don't want to confuse people, white people. We don't want to confuse people as to what a
Wow.
patty is. So you're gonna
That
have to change
is
it. How about a meat pocket? Which is funny that you said
crazy.
meat pocket.
Yeah, when you
I
said
said
meat
pie.
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 Yeah, when you said
pie.
meat pie,
That
I
was
thought
one
it
of the
was funny.
suggestions in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause
That
it
is
was
How about meat pie?
hilarious.
And the faces they would give them, the very, very true side eye strips. Boy, what are you talking to me
Yeah.
about meat pie? You need to get out of here with that.
Dave,
ahead,
here's
Dave.
a
That's
quick
so
question
dumb.
because we got to go on to the next.
Not quick question, quick statement. White people don't call it patty skinning. I don't know where this lane went on the side.
It's
went
in
on
the
the
law.
side.
It's
Talk
in
to
the
Sue
doc.
Ellen.
It's in
It's
a
in the
document.
But from like
Go
the
watch the doc because we're trying to explain
That was
to
in
you
the
what they
80s.
say in the doc. You guys
It's in
are
the 80s, probably the same.
Skinny's like, talk to your ancestors.
yeah,
Talk to
exactly.
Sue Ellen. This is in the 80s before systematic racism.
not
was
my
actually-
ancestors.
Talk to the
Another
redheaded
one.
white lady from Toronto from
fuck.
30 years ago. Go find
That's
her.
so
What do we
funny.
know?
Man, she feels
Oh my
stupid
God.
now. I want to see that lady
She did
now.
not
Oh my
want to
god.
appear. Did you
Yeah,
see
she
the
didn't want
ending?
to appear
She
at the
didn't want to
end. Yeah,
appear
they-
for the doc at all. She's like,
so
Her
nah, I'm
DMs are
good.
blown up right now. Whoever knows that.
She's probably
That's
so
so
mad too.
funny.
She's like, "That's not what I look like. How dare
While
you?"
eating a patty. She's like, stupid.
The last show I have on the list is Severance. If you guys haven't checked it out, I highly recommend it.
Ooh.
It's
Is it good?
Yeah, it's really good.
Is
It's
it
Let's go
messed
from the
up?
trailer.
It's messed up. All right.
it is I don't even
Messed
know how
up.
to explain it, but it's super interesting. Adam Scott, Zach Cherry, Britt Lauer, John Turturro,
Oh yeah, that shit. I've
like
seen this.
Patricia Arquette, Christopher Walken. It's super interesting. The story is that people can opt to have their minds like severed, so that when they go into work and they work in a certain area with sensitive information, they have no memory of who they are on the outside, and vice versa. When they're on the outside, they have no memory of how they are on the inside. That
So
as the
it splits your
premise-
personal life from your work life.
Yep.
Exactly. A lot of people are comparing it to Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I could definitely see that. I understand the kind of influence. I don't think it's exactly that. I think that's
Yeah.
the closest thing people could compare it to understand it easier. I think, if I'm being honest, this is one of the first original ideas I've seen in a long time.
Sounds original to me. I didn't even think Eternal Sunshine or whatever.
I didn't think so either, but I've heard a lot of people making that reference, and I
could see what they mean by that.
Yeah, I understand the reference they're making.
Is this
the
another
music-
Ben Stiller show on Apple Plus?
Yeah, this is Ben Stiller's directing.
Damn.
Wait,
It's,
comedy Ben Stiller?
yeah.
Wow.
He's
Oh yeah,
been-
he does.
he's
No,
been
he does
making-
have a dark. He does have
Yeah.
a dark
I
side.
mean, they all
too,
have
but
a
I
dark
didn't know this
side.
was him
Jim
too.
Carrey, Ben Stiller,
All
Robin
comedians have
Williams,
super
all-
dark sides.
yeah, all
No,
those
but I
guys.
mean, like this seems
Jordan
pretty,
Peele
like,
is probably the best example too when it comes to like people who
keep
have
dancing.
Yeah.
Yo, man.
Keep dancing. Your family are all right.
Yeah, that
Keep
was fucking
dancing.
great. Love that show.
Comedians
Key
have
and Peele.
demons, bro.
But yeah, I mean the show's well written. The music is fantastic. The like really creepy opening sequence makes you feel uncomfortable when you're watching it, but is just kind of perfect for what the show is. All around, I would say I highly recommend it if you guys are looking for something. And I keep telling people this: Apple TV is about quality over quantity. They have very few shows on their streaming service, from what I see. But every show I've watched, save for Servants, because I don't really want to watch Servants, I'm not really into horror stuff. All the shows have been good. C has been good. This has been good. Morning Show has been pretty solid, if you ask me.
Sasso? Is Sasso part of that?
Ted Lasso.
Ted
yeah.
Lasso's. Thank you.
Ted
Sorry.
Lasso is probably one of the best comedies in the last couple of years. So honestly, if you guys are looking for something interesting to watch, like Apple TV is one of the ones that I'm starting to think like, oh, I might actually want to pay for this one because the quality is actually there. Whereas with Netflix, their model is quantity over quality.
Who's hot right now?
Isn't Apple TV the one where you said was that Foundation show that you watched?
Yeah, Foundation's on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you didn't like that one, you said, right?
It's not that
Which
I
one's
didn't
Alien
finish it.
Invasion.
Invasion is the one that's
Invasion.
also on Apple.
Invasion.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Invasion's actually I kept watching Invasion. It's actually very interesting.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Every Apple TV show, if I actually give it a chance and keep watching the show, I found the show entertaining. But yeah, we guys, I know we have geek news and rumors, but I don't even know if we'll have time. So I'm just gonna rattle off the headlines because it's already that time. But if you guys, I was supposed to play the intro, and let's do it. Super quick, Street Fighter 6 controversial logo could be a modified stock image from Adobe. People are freaking out over it. They wish to go back to the original logo.
Some people are saying that there's layers on the actual logo, but we don't know yet. We'll find out.
Yeah, I think that logo. I feel like that logo is just. I feel like that logo is just like the app logo. You know, like the little one you have inside the circle.
It's sad. It's very lame.
Wait, listen. I work in a stock imagery industry.
Yeah.
So this argument to me in terms of like who owns a license and all this thing is hilarious to me.
The guy's saying he's willing to sell it to them. X cool something.
Yeah, but it's not up to him. It's up to Adobe, because that person has like your content is on Adobe's website and you sort of, you know, have signed a contract to get paid out for people using your content.
Just a quick thing. The reason that this is causing a big thing is because people are finding out now that Capcom's game RE4 used textures from this girl's texture book, and like when they actually went into the source code for the game, you can actually find the name of the textures that they had. No, they didn't even rename it. Just pulled it from this thing, and I think it took it to court, and I think the judge ended up throwing it out in the end.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
that's funny that you mentioned that, because that sounds exactly like what happens in Free Game. If you guys haven't seen Free Game, a lot of this whole people using code in the back end stuff is part of the story in that. Chiwetel Ejiofor and Naomi Harris, The Man Who Fell to Earth, drops April 24th. It's a limited series. Sounds super interesting.
It's on what?
It's going to be on Showtime. Chiwetel is going to be playing an alien coming from another planet that is on a similar path. That was on a similar path to what Earth is on, as in we're essentially fucking our planet over. We already know that.
He's a butterfly.
Yeah, essentially. It's honestly, when I watched the trailer, I was just like, oh, the butterflies from Peacemaker, but if they were cat aliens. Gotcha.
No.
This one was a pretty big one in the spheres today. Netflix Marvel shows moving to Star on Disney Plus in Canada as of March 16th. So a lot of people were shocked about that.
But we get Star on Disney. Oh,
yeah, it's Star on Disney Plus in Canada. Yeah, because a lot of people were just like, "Oh, it's coming to Disney Plus," but it's only coming to Star on Disney Plus in Canada. I don't know where it's going to be licensed in the States, because Star is not just Disney. Like Disney Plus in the States is still trying to maintain a PG-13 max. Some of those shows are not PG-13. That's why in Canada they can be on Star, because Star is where they put all their Hulu-like content. So I'm not sure what the licensing is going to be. Disney Plus might have to bump and accept some more R-rated content if they want to merge those shows in, or they'll have to put them on Hulu, which is probably, in my opinion, where they'll end up for in the US. I'm guessing. Aaron Pierce, who was on Krypton, is joining Mahershala Ali in Marvel's Blade, which is going to be coming out in 2 years?
What? 2 years?
What year?
Yeah, that sounds.
Blade.
They didn't give a date for that yet.
Oh, they didn't give a date. Okay,
no, that shit could just drop.
Last week, you guys were. I was gonna say last week you guys were making fun of was it The Quiet Place 3? But then, but James Cameron out here talking about Avatar movies till like 2025. So I mean,
they'll never come out. That's why.
Boring in general, because that's been a talk for like 20 years or whatever.
Avatar was trash too, man. I'm sorry.
So trash.
Avatar was already what 10 years ago.
Time you watched it, but I mean, like
Avatar is only good because it was like cool graphics at the time. There was nothing else interesting about it.
It was a typical story.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't do anything special. They didn't reinvent the fucking wheel. People acted like he jizzed gold out of it. It's like so stupid.
Well, I mean, he did do that because of people going to go see it.
He did do that.
He did do that.
That we take that away from the man.
Good writing and storytelling in that story, we don't. But money, yes. We give him
Quick question. If you're James Cameron and you got all the time and money to put things into your own studio, this, that, whatever, the fuck is a movie like Avatar 2 taking you over 12 years to put out? Yeah. Why? What are you even doing in between that? No.
Making it before.
Still looking for stuff in the Titanic. That's what he does on the side time.
All that BS that he's doing.
He can literally do whatever he wants.
Imagine my hobby is collecting this. You're so rich that your hobby is diving into the ocean and looking in the Titanic for.
Hey man, you don't
extra
just make
shit.
the movie The Abyss and not do anything with it. You don't just make the movie The Titanic and not do anything with it.
Take your money
I'm
and
going in
leave.
that
Of course
ocean.
you do.
I remember reading at one point that the reason it's taken so long is because he needed to get underwater CGI right.
Notice how everyone chips because
Underwater,
that's
you're
bullshit.
underwater.
Craven the
Underwater,
Hunter,
man.
White Lotus, Breakout, Fred Jesus, these fucking German names. Hickeneinger to play Chameleon on in the Craven movie. So we called it because we already had this conversation that Chameleon was coming, and lo and behold, Chameleon's going to be in Craven. So once again, Geektastic Cypher, we really should just have a bell that we ring every time we fucking call
Start
something.
the clock.
Because
you know, but why is Chameleon going to be in Craven?
Why not?
They're brothers.
That's a good question.
They're brothers.
Why should there be? Oh,
They're brothers, yeah.
I guess that's true.
And the
Half
brother
brothers,
is
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go,
true, that's
folks.
true.
Is it the
And
same
last-
guy that played him in Far From Home?
No,
No.
Damn, all right.
Chameleon. Who are you thinking of? Scorpion?
No, in Far From Home, the guy who is like the kind of driver for Shield
Yeah.
is the same name as what's his name? Chameleon. Not Chameleon.
Interesting.
Is it not? It's Chameleon's brother, which would be it's
Raven.
weird. But yeah. Anyways,
Okay.
I'll find it and I'll prove it to you guys after.
Cool. And the last piece of news, Matt Reeves on creating a new Batverse, plans on creating a new Batverse with the Batman's HBO Max spin-offs, which is going to be Penguin, and in true blue Catwoman too?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah, she's not doing
Crickets.
She's not doing high fidelity anymore.
I was gonna
so-
say she can shut the fuck up about High Fidelity when she gets her fucking other show.
Oh,
But
We're
we're
complaining every
DC is doing it. I don't know. Peacemaker was successful, so maybe they know what they're doing finally. But they definitely are
Let's pretend.
putting out spin-offs before the actual movie comes out, which is interesting.
I mean, you don't need to have a joint universe. You could just do other universes like comic books do in general.
Hey man, they don't know what they're doing,
we don't want to
so-
see that.
that sounded too sassy. No, I'm just
And with
you
that
can do
said,
whatever you
folks,
want in comic books.
I agree. I'm tired. You could do whatever you want in comic books, but one of the things about comic books is they at least start a story and end a story and explain the universe is breaking and explain the universe is coming together. Like there's multiple stories in.
Or you don't have to, like James Bond, that's been running for what,
And you
80
don't-
years.
and you don't have to like Gotham.
I mean,
so,
did you see
it's
the last
cool.
one?
Oh, I didn't see No Time to Die unless they
Okay,
brought
well,
like,
okay.
oh,
Well,
his
then you
dead
can't-
wife. His
You
dead
can't say
wife
anything
and
on that until you
Blofeld
see the
and
last
this, that,
one.
and the other.
By the way, I don't want to spoil it for you, but watch
This
the last
Lisa's
one.
funny.
You don't want to spoil the Bond. The Bond's been out for so long.
Well, he
Oh,
hasn't
you mean-
seen
I'll,
it.
I'll buy it on Blu-ray then.
Oh, okay.
You don't. Wow, you still don't know. Even I know what happened.
I didn't. No, I didn't. I
You
didn't
just he
bother
actually
to
just
look
said what happens. That's why I find it
No,
funny.
he
that-
didn't.
No, you
Well,
What?
I don't
He
know what I'm
didn't,
saying. I say words,
because-
man. I don't think about what I'm
he
saying.
said it's not like the Bond movies where they don't really like tie things like close things off. And
The only
they
thing I
continue.
saw was the only thing I know is that his old car is the same car, but I don't know if it's exactly the same car. But anyway,
Okay. Oh, yeah.
You know,
I'll
That's
say
why I
that.
say watch it, because your statement will change when you watch it.
Yeah.
Boom.
And that's the whole show, folks. Geektastic Cypher. We will be back with another one next week. We have a guest, so make sure you tune in. Shout outs to everyone who tuned in. Shout outs for all the comments. We appreciate y'all
Yes.
tuning in as you do on the weekly. We are out, folks. Salutes. Be good. Don't drink and drive. Always wear your Jimmy caps. And don't forget to get your STEM player so you can listen to Kanye's new album.
give him more money.
Actually, give him more money. Genius is genius. I love that shit. Shouts to Kanye. You're doing too crazy, but at the same time, shouts to Kanye.
You do you, Kanye. We out.
Have
Peace,
fun.
everybody.
Loosen up.